Hello everyone, and welcome to Trials of VinTear for Session 5. This is a little bit different, right? An intro before an intro? Well, there's kind of a reason for it. Sadly, I can't say what actually occurred, but due to me switching headphones from these guys to these guys, it caused some sort of a loud, annoying buzz whenever most of our players talked. And as you can guess, with D&D, it's kind of the game. People talk. It can be a little bit grating. So the question is, for this whole thing and this upload, is why even upload it? Well, for one, for those brave enough to wanting to watch it and see the story unfold, especially this missing chapter, it's here for you to enjoy. And for those who are willing to go through that, thank you so much. I appreciate it, especially through all the audio issues. Another one is that it's kind of disheartening if this episode kind of never existed, if it was never uploaded to begin with. There's a lot of fun moments in this episode. And it would feel kind of criminal to both myself as well as my players if it just never saw the light of day. Hell, if anything, you can wait until next week to check out Session 7 when it does come out, or sorry, Session 6 when it comes out, and keep an ear out for the last time on Session 5 recap. It should help out. With that all out of the way, please enjoy. Hello everyone, and welcome to the Trials of VinTear for Session 5 here in Arcane Focus D&D. I'm your DM. Sadly, I can't tell you my name, as I accidentally gave it to a face trickster. Just remember, whenever someone says, "Can I have your name?" don't give it. This is a reminder to everyone that this is a pre-recorded stream, so we have things called toddler breaks. So if there's a clear cut, that's why. We have a kid running around. Things happen. We have to switch things up. I am joined by my terrific players today. Hey, say hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
I'm joined by Nick.
Hello.
Amber.
Hi.
Temple.
Wait, am I supposed to give you my name?
I already have it. Steve. And Titan.
Howdy.
Oh, boy. So, also, let me guess. For those viewers at home, you may not have 2 to 2.5 hours to watch a video / pre-recorded stream. Hey, that's totally cool. We do things called short rests. It's a wonderful little video that we do after this. It's usually produced on Sundays or posted on Sundays, where you can just sort of get a rough draft of, or a rough digest of all of the events of today's session in a rough 15 to 20 minute video. So it's really nice, really helpful. Before we begin today's game, I am just all over the place. I'm sorry.
Drink your damn water.
I know.
They did this to you.
I know, it just happened. I think that test screwed my mind. I was like, everyone roll me a d20.
I'm gonna roll the wacky one. Oh shit.
Who got 10 or higher? Oh!
Back natural freaking 20 on this dice that has not rolled higher than like a
Oh
9.
man, we're back to basics, aren't we?
No, it's
Yeah.
not. No, it's not.
Well, it's like a sign.
It's a sign.
It is a
It's a
Dakota
sign,
Irish
yeah.
dice, but still.
It's a sign.
Let's go ahead and give you some spaces here.
I am so thrilled. I love Dakota Irish. I don't love Mike for this, so if that's the unenthused part of this copy, that's what it is.
Well,
Damn, dude, that's long.
It's really not.
Hey, Mike, I had a few notes about the game so far.
Yeah, I mean, sure. But do you think you can wait maybe like after the game or, you know?
I'm reading your grammar and it hurts my brain. Sorry.
You deserve this copy.
Because you write it. Never mind. No, I think right now is a perfect time. Killer fish, corrupt cops, and a courtroom drama is all fun and all, but where's the epic plot lines? Where's the evil entities that want to plunge the world into darkness? We need liches.
We kind of did liches and Mostad.
no, she
Okay,
makes
well,
a point.
how about dragons?
Dragons are fun, but we did 2 dragons in Mostad and 1 in Nomad.
Then we need like Eldritch Horror or something. Something that follows you wherever you go. Much like Dakota Irish's Eldritch Horror Locket. Ooh, I have not seen this.
Yeah, I'm gonna share it in host chat.
I got distracted by shiny things, sorry. Always keep a secret stash of a mini metal dice with you at all times in case the great old ones awake to remove us from this mortal plane. I'm correcting your grammar. Enjoy 7 mini dice inside an intricately designed locket with a kraken on front.
That's right. The Eldritch Horror Locket is our pick for this week. And as always, you can always use our link, as well as our promo code Arcane Focus D&D to receive 10% off your order. Thank you, Dakota Irish, for the discount.
I want to go see this now.
Yeah, it's really cool.
The
And they're
locket's
like,
pretty.
I need that for Arrow. Sick.
right?
Very
Yeah.
nautical.
Wait, the locket or the Eldritch Horde?
No
Next
comment.
question.
Yeah, next one.
I like the answer.
Plead the fifth.
Well, with that all said and done, you guys ready for a quick recap?
Hey, what do I get?
Nothing.
Something. I'm going to roll advantage when I choose.
What can you get? I will give you in an instant where you think if we give you disadvantage, you can cancel that out.
That's fair.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and get a quick recap of last session's events. Back in the cell, Arrow rejoins the party as you guys all have a small discussion about tomorrow's events. Plans are made, backup plans, and then backups to even those plans are made. Eventually, Joshua Haynes meets you and leads you into a private room to talk. It's discussed that Ambrosia provided an accounting of the events, and under Joshua's experience, that the prosecutor would simply slander your name, try to paint you in a bad light, and try to sway the jury to see you all as true criminals. It was time now. The party walked into the court, where instead of the assigned prosecutor, instead, Mr. Sada Yuka, a green dragonborn with a vast reach and sway within the kingdom, was tasked to this case. During the trial, mudslinging and plenty was a plenty from the prosecutor's side, but came with a revelation that he went to great lengths to look you all up. Learning about Phoenix's B&E, Legati and Morse's arrest record, Arrow's ties to a pirate village, or a known pirate village, and even getting Diva to admit that she arrived into the Dracewind Kingdom without proper papers. The jury was swayed back and forth, as well as the Judge Meyer's patience was tested and shifted. Eventually, Volred Quinley was brought to the stand, and the questioning began. It was tough. I already lost my place. It was tough, and it was showing on the sea elf's face signs of cracking. Catching a strange metal disc, the party urged the court to check him, causing a mage guard to stand at the ready. Just as the subject of Missy, Volred's fallen friend from the first Red Maw event, was called into question, Volred snapped, jumped the bench, and quickly the mage stopped him mid-air, and a sentencing was issued. For the provable crimes that our parties were sort of disclosed to admit, you were all fined 1,500 gold pieces, as well as a community service job with the Model Peer investigator team, or a specific investigator. While Volred was issued a 50,000 gold piece fine and a sentence to the Thrown Stone for a decade, where you can assume that he'll be working off some of this amount in the Supermax prison. Our party annoyed, but glad to finally be out. The events of the trials left our party a bit shaken. What we see right now is Phoenix having definitely a lot of that internal stress begins to run off into the distance, letting loose stress the only way she knows how. But for the rest of our crew, Diva, Legati, Arrow, Morse, with Joshua in hand, I believe some ideas were thrown of, let's have some drinks, let's relax for a bit. That was a harrowing experience. And I think what the decision was to do is to go to the Red Maw and maybe relax for a bit. Any discussion on the way to the Red Maw?
Have we retrieved our things yet, or is that scheduled for after?
That is he actually has it. Joshua has your equipment, everyone's equipment, at his house or at his
She thought
office.
we were gonna go get our stuff first, and then gonna go to the bar.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think maybe besides Phoenix, your stuff is still at Joshua's place. But as for everyone, it is a quick jaunt. You guys are still within the South District, so it's not that fast or not that long of a travel to get to his ramshackled little office. And Diva, this is your first time seeing Joshua's place. It is a 2-story small little rectangular building with the office at the bottom with a stairwell that leads upwards to where he lives. There's like a small couch area pushed against a kitchenette with a door that leads into a bedroom where you can only assume he has a mess of shirts and jackets and ties and things like that. It smells of smoke, like cigarette, as well as dust in here. But there is a small crate that does read evidence, and it has a couple of like letters and numbers. Opens it up, and there's all your equipment.
All right, everybody grab your stuff.
Yo,
Yoink.
I'll say, not that the travel between his office and the Red Maw does take a little longer. There definitely is that sort of brief walk, taking your time going towards the docks area, and eventually you do make it to the Red Maw. Once again, the stone foundation with the wooden walls and sort of the windows here. The large double doors that lead into the tavern are closed right now. Doesn't mean they're locked. You can still push in, but there is a bright yellow sign that has been nailed onto the front of the door that reads, closed until further notice, Model Pier Board of Commerce.
What?
Oh.
Is door locked?
You push in, you can still hear discussion behind the door.
Yeah, I still walk in.
You walk in, there is no patrons inside. The only people who seem to be talking are some of the working girls, some of the kitchen staff who are now out in the sort of dining area and just sort of hanging out and talking to one another. Wisa is there currently talking to Madame Oli. I think what happens is that Madame Oli looks to you and goes, "Oh, my goodness, darling. We were so worried about you. Are you all right?"
Yeah, I'm fine. We're closed?
Yes, everything was underneath, Francis's name. With his passing, there's a... Well, we all know that Wisa and I practically ran this place. Francis just put his name on it, so... We just have to work with the... We just have to work with the courts and just have to have it transfer over to one of our names.
How long is that going to take?
I don't know. I've never done it before.
Is Joshua with us?
Yeah, he's with you.
I just look at Joshua, was like, how long is that going to take?
Oh, documentation transferring. Oh yeah, I mean, a max a week, but it could usually go a little faster than that too.
A week without a woman of the night and a week of not making money is not necessarily the best. Is there any way we can, move that along? Especially since now I have this ridiculous fine I have to take care of.
Yeah, I know a few people who can probably expedite the process.
If my Lisa meets Joshua, he's going to help you.
Hi, I've been here a few times. I've never partaked. And looks to probably like some of the ladies and goes, "But I've eaten. Let's talk." And begins to walk his way towards the owners.
Lisa, can I grab a bottle from the bar still?
Go for it, honey.
I just jump behind the bar. What do you guys like? Mead, whiskey, wine? There's probably milk.
Is it free?
First round.
We technically can't sell, so go for it. Just don't dry us out.
That works for me. Wine, then.
Pull out bottle of wine for Lugatti. Everyone else?
I'll take a
Whatever.
nail.
Yeah, cheapest and strongest.
I like you. Take out bottle of whiskey.
Drinks are passed around, clean glasses. You see some of the the kitchen staff are like, "If you're gonna do that, you're washing dishes because we're not gonna do it."
That's fine.
Madame Oli walks just close enough to you, Diva, and goes, You've been through a harrowing experience. Relax for a bit, but when you are done, meet me in my office. Grabs a glass for herself and heads her way upstairs.
So I'm out of work for the week, so anyone else got any ideas of how to make this money?
Well, we get paid for this detective assistant job, right?
Joshua kind of like his mid-conversation turns and goes, no, you were doing community service and then you would have to pay a fine.
Oh, good.
So, what is our incentive to do a good job?
I mean, it'd be nice to look good in the favor of the courts, because maybe I can reassess, maybe get that fine down.
Okay, that's almost like money. All right.
Yeah.
I think Legati has out a notebook and he's written down the $1,500, number 1,500 gold piece fine, and then he's like just looking at it and tapping his quill. About,
If
like,
you
okay,
make
what
that
are we
number
gonna do?
turn into money, I don't know what to say.
I imagine we wouldn't be in this situation if that were the case.
Says I can turn things into silver, but it doesn't last forever, and I have found that usually causes more trouble than it solves, unless we are leaving quickly.
Hmm.
I don't know, is anyone familiar with any manual work around here? It's typically all I'm good at.
Legati makes it.
Same. It's out there. Where to find it, I don't know. But it's out there.
I mean, the type of work I do is could be considered manual. I occasionally help in the bar.
I think Legati says, like it occurs to him, and he gestures to Diva. Says, "Oh right, didn't you have someone, a friend of yours, brutally murdered or something? Would anyone pay us to investigate that?"
Let me ask, because we also are discreet people, but they might be interested in that.
All right, that's a possibility. He writes down, "Investigate brutal murder?" ?
I looked to make sure what he wrote was okay.
While we're talking, I'm also gonna pull out that, like, carved, right, butterfly that Phoenix gave me.
Mm-hmm.
And
Butterfly.
I just kind of want to assess it. Is it, like, what's the craftsmanship like? Is it, like, really clean or, like, a little jagged?
I think that one's one of her cleaner ones, but it does have like I even told Mike, I'm like, I don't know how to explain it. It's not quite a cork, but obviously we don't have plastic, so there's just like this little piece at the bottom of it that pops out, but there's nothing inside right now, according to my roll.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just kind of, like, poke around with it for a bit. And then, I'm gonna pull out, like, a spare, like, kind of block of wood that I would just keep around, and I'm gonna start, like, whittling at it.
I will say you do notice where like the abdomen part is, like that very top round piece. That's actually a skull.
Ooh.
I think I
Like
just
a
sent.
girl skull or just carved skull?
You don't know.
Wonderful.
It's carved into the wood, if that's what you're asking, but like it is placed there for a reason.
I think I just sent it to you, Amber, but it is a spindly body with, the skull, numerous legs, intricate designed wings, but with almost like this open jowl, like somewhat like
Yeah, it
a
does have a lot of
circular
teeth.
teeth,
Ooh.
toothy maw.
Cool.
I think what happens is that, Diva, as you're sort of serving drinks, the rest of the girls start to clamor around and go, "Was it bad in prison? Did you meet any hot guards?"
Just the ones that are normally here. Your client, he brought me coffee. He's very sweet.
Oh, okay. Oh, glad to know we'll get coffee.
Other than that, they just had me in a boring room. This one's kind of fun. The one with the fiery hair that's kind of pretty, she's not here.
I don't think I've seen her before.
Like Wisa has. I don't think the rest of them
Yeah,
have.
this is the sisters talking, but definitely Whis like, she helped out real good. I think I may have screwed up that relationship though, because they kind of they dug that out. I hate that.
I wonder where she ran off to.
After some time to relax, Diva, do you go upstairs?
Yeah, I'll tell the girls, it's like, keep them entertained. They don't have money. I'm gonna put that out there. But keep them entertained. And I'll just slip off.
I don't have money.
You head upstairs. Within Madame Oli's office, she's currently just sort of with a cigarette holder, lighting a cigarette, and just sort of twirling the drink a little bit. And as you open the door, she goes, "Sit down."
Am I in trouble?
No.
Okay.
Goodness, no. She puts down a small wooden box between you on the desk and goes, "Diva, my lovely, hot-blooded goddess. First of all, are you truly okay?"
I've been through worse. This is nothing. I didn't appreciate being locked up in jail, but I came out with my head. The fine's kind of annoying. I really didn't think me not being from here was such a problem.
Well, you already know this, but guards did come in and search your room and found these. Opens the box, and you see that there are bits of scraps of fabric. The same fabric and cloth that Pepper was wearing the morning that she left to go see Tanner. And she goes, they are pretty adamant that you have something to do with her death, but we informed them that that was not the case. You were with us in the morning, so we've acted as alibi.
Thank you. But that still doesn't explain what happened.
Yeah. The guards are still looking into, obviously, that death. So until then, your room is currently locked, and not by a key.
But my pretty things.
I know.
My chains. It's fine. Are the law enforcement looking into this? Because one of the gentlemen downstairs brought up a good point of maybe we should look into it ourselves.
I don't think it would hurt your case, or your standing if you did, because if you were to find the true culprit, that's just helping out and doing their job, you know. Yeah, so I don't think that would be a bad thing. And until then, obviously, right now we are kind of closed down. We are not permitted to do any business. Hopefully, your little lawyer friend works together with Weez and gets that all situated. That'd be nice. So until then, I am verbally telling my employee no underhanded deals, but I cannot report what I don't see. And she gives like a knowing smirk.
Of course, no underhanded deals through this establishment.
There you go. She essentially, like, when you're saying that, she's like just mimicking, like placing her hands over her ears. She reaches out and grabs your hand and does so almost like sandwiched your hand in between her own. And she goes, "Our work is complicated. It's a complicated one, my dear. Not everyone has a family in this line of work, and it's scary for others who do this on their own. I can only thank Rakdo."
Rakdos.
Right. "I can only thank this person that he brought you to us." Okay.
He smiles his blessings at you. You've given one of his children shelter and a place to show their praise.
She moves her hand away from yours, and in your hand, there is a good stack of gold, like solid pile. She's giving you 100 gold pieces for the Tanner job.
Are you sure?
You finished mean, you finished the job, I guess. You provided entertainment, did you not?
Yes.
That was all that was asked for.
You've been kind to me, and for that I thank you.
Well, you made me money.
Alright. I'm gonna go back and tell them we can start that investigation. Unfortunately, this gold is not going to sit in my pocket very long, it sounds like. Are you sure you and the girls are okay?
Oh, yes. We're going to turn our heads away from a few dealings. See if the ladies can pick up some independent work. And in the meantime,
That means you're going to be taking ownership.
I haven't decided whether it's me or Wisa are going to put our names down or we're going to do a co-signing. Not sure.
I think you'll make a better tanner in this town than he did after the stuff I learned.
He was always full of himself, but he brought a lot of attention, so it was nice. That's okay. We'll find a way.
I get up to walk out of her office. I also take, I guess, the piece of Pepper's clothing that's on her desk.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take this,
Of course.
and I'll go back downstairs.
As Diva went upstairs in the medium.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh, no. Yeah, you're going back downstairs. We're turning the clock back a little bit. As you went upstairs, Joshua slides over to you, Morris, and goes, listen, a lot of things are up in the air right now. All right? But I know one thing. We did some good today. Right?
Just barely.
Barely, but we did it.
Hey, Joshua,
Yeah.
where's my bag of money?
I already told you they took it for evidence.
It's funny how even our justice system, even our justice system isn't just.
Yeah. Well, if anything is ran by people, there's always holes. And the best thing we can do is get that system's ideals and do the best we can with them. You know, the whole point of the law is to make sure that the bad people get punished and the good people are justified and they go scot-free, or they are, you know, compensated for the time and damages they were put upon. That's the best we can do.
Except for those trying to get out of town.
Except for those going out of town. Gets a glass, clinks it with yours. A lot of things happen. And I get it. I beat Yuka, that's amazing. But you are all framed. And we proved that wrong.
I will give you credit where credit is due. At least you didn't show up an hour late this time.
Improvement.
Now, that's great. How about consistent?
Let's not wish for a miracle.
Who knows where you would be if you just truly applied yourself?
I wouldn't have met you.
This is true. You could have been someone grander. You could have been more reputable.
I don't want to be like Yuka.
The money just coming in. Everyone knows you. Anybody has any legal troubles? Oh, it's gonna be Haynes. That's who we're gonna go to. He's the best.
Money does sound nice.
I mean, at the bare minimum, just think about what it'll do for you. Think about a nice new apartment, not on the top of whatever it is you have downstairs. Whatever it is he has downstairs.
I saved up a few years for that, all right? First of all, I have an office. My own building. All right? We did great today, okay? We came out fighting. We came out swinging. We came out bruised, but we won. And you see Wisa sort of start to refill your drinks and goes, honestly, all of you deserve a nice place to sleep. So if you're looking for some comfortable beds, we have some upstairs.
So, if it's all the same to you, Joshua, I'd like to get this over and done with so I can be gone from this wretched place already.
Tomorrow morning. Don't get too drunk.
What do you have against this place, Morris?
Well, let's just say that this is not my destination. This is merely a stepping stone. One that I'm being forced to step on longer than I cared.
Fair enough.
What about you, Arrow? What do you want to do?
Oh, well, make enough money to pay that back so I can do whatever it is I'm led to next.
Man, a bunch of free
Is there-
spirits.
Yeah, I'm not really the ambitious type.
Old man, Legati. What do you want to do?
I'm the same age as your friend. I just spend a lot of time in the sun.
I think it's like the tiefling blood in him. It's just like preserves him, I guess.
Understandable. I will sleep in a bed here tonight. We will solve some mysteries tomorrow. And yes, I think this town is annoying, and I would like to move along. But I don't want to cause trouble for those that may have ties here by moving along before the fine is paid.
Fair. I'll see what I can look into. Hey, the fact that me and Morris, we used to work with like a solo contract thing, like things that only a single person can handle, maybe working with a different team. If we get all 5 of you signed up for something, I can find some more dangerous work, maybe more some, things that require a team to get done. Might have a bigger payout.
The payout is the important thing. Dangerous, we'll take it if we have to.
Sounds good. Yeah, you guys all have a room if you wish to stay here at the Red Maw. Drinks are passed around. Fire is lit in the fireplace as it starts to get a little dark. Eventually, the kitchen staff does begrudgingly get up and go, "All right, I'm hungry. I will make everyone food." And start to go inside the kitchen, start to cook up some of the food they had left over before they got closed down. And you are provided kind of like leftovers. Still, nice warm meal. Our vision pulls back. We hear the huffs and puffs of breath as our vision of Model Pier can be seen in a blur as you race at full sprint from corner to corner. The energy built in from the courtroom finally being released. Phoenix, what's going through your mind?
She's pissed. Like, objectionably so, given everything that's happened. It's kind of touched a nerve that she didn't want touched.
You have any clear destination on your run?
Oh, I feel like I don't know Amber does not know Model Pier enough. I feel like Phoenix does doing like her daily runs. She's probably running through the shore because she knows that's harder, like to run through the sand. And she's probably done that with Obi enough to know that that's more, I guess, painful recovery wise. Like she's doing it on purpose.
Yeah, you run the majority of the accessible beaches here in Model Pier, making that rounds going through some major streets here and sort of doing circles. You're not due to this emotion that you're feeling. You're not breathing correctly. You're not pacing yourself, and you're getting a lot more tired than you usually do. Eventually, you do have to lean against probably like a brick building. You're at the corner of it where the two walls meet, and just taking deep, heavy breaths. And you can feel that fire within you starting to grow hotter.
I think she just starts taking it out on the wall. Like, she doesn't have a punching bag. She doesn't have anywhere to train at the moment, so she's just going to take it out. there. But I think she's not going to be focused. She's not using her technique. She's not using her training. She's just hitting a wall as hard as she can, does not care about the repercussions of it at the moment.
We have you almost have like flashes of teenage Phoenix. Untrained, undisciplined, full on. If you were to consider yourself anything, it'd be like a tavern brawler. You know, taking a first swing and taking it hard. Your fist collides with the brick, and what we see in the brief moment before your fist hits the wall, your hand ignites and flares up as your volcanic veins flare with this sickly green-tinted tent black blaze, smashes into the corner of the wall, and it bits and pieces and pebbles scatter the walkway. Your arm immediately is shot up with pain as you look down, and you are just bleeding by the knuckle.
I think she just keeps doing it. She does it for a while until like she finally catches her breath and she starts thinking clearly a little bit more.
You hear a voice in your head. Focus. The echoed memories of Obi's voice. Focus, Phoenix. Focus your anger. And feel the fire. Then do what feels natural.
I think she does. She takes like an extra few minutes, takes a deep breath, lets it go, and then sees how hot she can truly burn kind of in that moment until it's like this kind of blue, light blue flame.
Focusing it where the pain hurts. The flame trails down your shoulder, across your elbow, towards the fist that is currently bleeding. You look down and you can see white. You've hidden down to the bone. It is painful, but as you start to focus that fire within, the white, light blue flames start to curl around the wounds, and you start to see they cauterize and start to heal.
Which she hasn't done in a very long time. So I think she just kind of sits there, exhausted and questioning her promise, but a promise is a promise. And I think probably like 30 more minutes go by, and then she starts heading back to August, and she's just gonna kind of like sit up on the roof. She's not gonna go to her room.
Okay. You rush towards the front of Low and Sun Butchery, quickly climbing the little hand and foot paths that you made yourself to get to the top of the roof. The moment you start to climb, you hear the door open as both Lowsons, August and Jeffrey, were waiting for you. I think the last thing you see as you flick a foot and go over the rooftop is just two heads looking up.
I think they've seen me sit up there before.
Yeah. Takes a few minutes as you start to catch your breath, and eventually you hear, "Oh, okay, no, push that one. All right, thank you, Jeffrey, don't drop me." Okay. And a hand goes over the rooftop as the older gentleman, August, kind of.
I go and pull him up.
Okay, thank you.
What are you doing up here? You're gonna break your back.
You get up here just fine.
I have a niche for climbing things.
Ooh.
Thanks for today. You really shouldn't be climbing the roof. How old are you now, August?
Let's not talk about it. Are you alright?
I will be.
We had your back.
I know you did.
Yeah. What they got you doing?
Technically breaking and entering, but it was in a place that was selling moldy wine to people so it could get them sick. You know. Anybody do their job around here?
You know, I was totally on that side, especially when I heard there were some people speaking up against the guards. Like, I think one of your Top Hat friends talking about it. No, I agree.
It seems like we've all had to step in one way or another. And I'm like, just do your job. You
Yeah.
get paid to do it. I don't get paid to break into freaking nasty ass places. I just
So you done? Is that it? You're free?
no. I have to do community service and pay off a 1,500 gold fine, which we all know I don't make that much. You're just nice and let me work off what I can.
How about this? Let me see if I can help out.
I mean, I'm good at labor. Hit
No.
things really hard and I can lift a bunch of weight. Do it day in and day out.
You see him contemplating something and just sort of sitting on the side. A few moments of silence pass and he finally goes, I mean, I don't know what'll happen. Call of the courts may take you away, Phoenix. No. We all knew that this was a temporary thing. I know you got to get to Hell, Nate. But, how about this? Let me help out. And you do one job for me.
I think you just know you have to ask.
Yeah, well, this is my way. Pulls out from his vest. It is a sealed letter. Hands it to you. He goes, I will pay you 100 gold if you can deliver this letter.
Is this who I think it is?
I haven't seen her in a while. You know, Sarah, we didn't really say goodbye on the best of terms, so I don't know where she's at. But if you catch wind of her, give her that.
August, I do this for free.
Yeah, well, traveling ain't free.
It's not. I can go really fast. Apparently, I need to learn to walk on water. And maybe not get eaten by a red moth.
I think you need to walk before you run. Test it out first.
I generally do. I'm just pissed in this moment.
No, rightly so. All right. I'm gonna
Please
find a
don't
way
climb.
down. I'm gonna find a way down.
I will help you down.
All right, thank you. I didn't want to ask because I was afraid.
You're
I don't know.
stubborn. You remind me of somebody back home. Stubborn as shit. Old as shit, too. Okay. Let me get out first, and then you kind of slide down. Don't trip over a freaking shingle.
It does that thing where like he scoots down from his chest down and then is dangling,
Just-
and then a slipper falls, and he's like, oh, "Okay, all right, this isn't fun anymore." And eventually, let's go, and you were able to catch him.
If you would have yelled, I just would have went down.
You're a cat. I don't know where you go. I don't know if you're gonna be upstairs, downstairs, in the basement or not.
In
So
a
I figured
tree,
I
it's
might
like-
as well get the upper hand and sneak up on you.
You were not stealthy at all. You were loud as hell trying to get up on that roof.
Plans and execution are different things.
I think she just gives him a hug. One of the few people she does hug. See you in the morning. Am I waking you up or you waking me up?
Please don't wake us up.
6 a.m. it is. I'll be up at 5.
Got it. You'll have a night's rest. So if you need it, you can take your long rest. If not, you're fine. Sleep is had. And Arrow. Finally sleeping in a nice warm bed. You're not... I mean, you had a nice sleep too, within the expensive inn you stayed at. But definitely, it's always nice to sleep in a bed, especially when you're out at sea. Or you're in the sailor's hovel. And you start to rethink that constantly as you start to drift. It's just out at sea, out at sea, out at sea. Eventually, you Wake up in an unfamiliar place. Not in the room. You find yourself at the surface of a wide, horizon-expanding ocean. You look around, swim a bit, and do not see any landmarks. You look up and scattering of stars, moonlight, and the more you blink and see it, the area around you, the dimmer the lights get. Until finally, stars start to almost diminish to a point where they're just barely visible. The cold of the water fills your heart. Something you feel like a current below you, and you look down. Through the water, reflecting through it, a scream can be heard. His scream. Yells for help. You look down through the inky depths. You see he's about 30 feet below you. What do you do?
I start swimming. I'm trying to get to him.
As you swim down, his form flashes for only a split second, or almost you have to convince yourself whether or not you saw it or not, to that of a skeletal form surrounded by an eerie teal-green glow. Just like that, in the blink of an eye, he's only further back down. He looks up, releases the last of his breath. Here, Alto. Harrow? Wait! Darkness takes. And just as you swim even further, try to catch up, no longer no sign to see. You now realize that you are... Are you in the water? Were you ever in the water? Doesn't feel cold anymore. Now swimming in a void, beginning to panic. You are startled by the same teal glow next to you. Like almost like if something appeared in the blackness, about maybe a foot or two away from you. A large 3-mast derelict vessel, a long bow, with seaweed and ethereal tendrils stringing off across each porthole and topside hook. You know this ship. One burned away in your memory. You look around, seeing this thing start to sail against this inky void, close enough where you can see the steering wheel and the captain of the ship, moving slowly, skeletal form with a crow-like head, long beak that curls down, shredded torn wings and a long bony tail, looks to you. How do you react?
Who are you?
Here's your voice. You see it almost react, like it can hear you, react to you. And there's a bit of confusion and intrigue. Didn't know why I said it like that. Intrigue in this creature's gaze towards you. Almost your confusion meets its confusion. Doesn't talk. Starts to turn the wheel. The ship gets closer and closer until finally you are pretty much 5 feet away from the captain. Looks you up and down. Not your time. But a gift. Reaches into its cloak. Opens its hand. And in it you see a singular blue eye.
I'll reach out and take it. What kind of blue?
To investigate it, you look at it. You know these eyes. You know this eye.
What is this place?
Those are the words you say when you wake up.
If I like checked in my hands or my pockets, is there anything?
No blue eye. You're sweating right now. Eventually, I'll say, if this may cross your mind. As you rush to maybe a sink or a mirror, wiping a bit of the sweat off. Still you. Green eyes. But you know for a fact that was his.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take a minute to like bring myself back, tell myself that was just a freaky dream. Happens sometimes. Never quite that weird, but surely just a dream. And then I'm gonna go back and grab the block I was starting to whittle, and I'm just gonna start focusing on that.
Something feels different as you're sitting on the bed whittling. You feel more than just one person. But that lingering question still stays. It's the morning. Everyone awakes. We'll catch up with Phoenix. Phoenix, where do you head to?
She probably again does her usual run, and then she's gonna ask August where the hell Joshua Haynes' office is because she needs her stuff. But she's gonna go do work after that.
Oh, that's the license and registration guy, right?
Yeah, I think. I mean, he did great yesterday, but apparently he hands out napkins. I don't know.
But when we registered the butchery, we had to sign a few paperwork, and we went to some rinky-dink place. So, if that's the place you're talking about, I can give you directions.
I think so. He has my my bow staff and my belt bag. Probably should have took those before I took off. Did not do that.
Great. Yeah. Let me give you a little map. Sort of drives you a little direction where to
You
go.
need me to take anything to him?
No, we're fine.
Okay.
By the way, go ahead and mark 100 gold,
Oh,
Phoenix, that you got. As for the rest of you, you wake up, maybe besides Arrow, in a comfortable bed. I think maybe Legati, you're like, oh, that's way better than the cot I was sleeping in.
It is different, and different is better.
And Morris, I think you also wake up kind of feeling more refreshed than you have in a long time. No longer sleeping on a couch.
Gotta admit, it feels nice. Feels nice.
Morning comes with the smell of coffee. Less big of a breakfast, but more just like eggs and maybe a side of toast. As Weiss is kind of the only one cooking right now. The kitchen staff not getting paid are not coming in to do morning. But she's able to cook up enough eggs and fry enough bread to make it a sustainable breakfast. While this is happening, what is the plans? How do we meet?
So does Joshua have our link to our community service thing?
Yes. So
'Cause I know
Joshua,
we have-
he's been informed that in the morning, sometime in the morning, this investigator will go to Joshua's office to discuss.
So we should, I think Legati says, like, probably do that, get that out of the way, then turn our attention to things that can actually make us money. And investigating the, pointing at his notebook again, the brutal murder.
Oh yeah, I take out the piece and slide that to Lottie. I'm like, well, that's what they apparently found in my room.
It's just like scraps of fabric, is that?
Yeah, it's like strips and pieces of fabric.
All right, Legati picks it up and looks at it and smells it and then gives it back. This isn't helpful, but I guess it's a start. After the community service, I suppose. Well, that'll be a nice evening, the brutal murder and such. I think Legati leans forward towards you, Diva. Should we leave some money because we've been eating and drinking a lot of their stuff?
If you like, but right now it's just courtesy. They're just happy I'm home, and they like your company, it seems.
I have not heard that before. All right. He pulls out the paper where it has 1,500, and then he has minus 185 under it. And he says, this is how much gold I have on me. So that's 1,315 remaining. If we do not have to pay for food and drink, that will help a little bit.
I take out my bag of 100 and I'm like, add that to it.
I put the minus 100. You can hold on to the 100 for now. It's probably heavy. But thank you. Should we go ahead?
Yeah, Mors will walk in looking for Diva. Morning.
Morning. Coffee?
Oh yes, that would be swell. Listen, I have a question for you. You seem to have a colorful life. You seem to know some people. Who can I talk to if I'm looking for some information?
What kind of information?
I'm looking for specifically. I'm looking for an order. Looking for an order of paladins.
In this town?
Not in this town. Then, if you have, or if you know someone who might have some leads, something I can follow.
DM, can I roll like an insight if there's anything I could have to help him?
Roll me a history.
That's -1. That is going to be a 15.
15. You've never heard of any particular order, but you do know that the town you're from definitely did have there was a sector of a religious side, a church that sort of called that place home as well. That's kind of what comes to mind.
Alright, I tell Moritz, it's like, not so much an order. From where I found there's religious folk, but that's about it.
Alright. Appreciate it, thank you. Do we get the coffee here? Do we go somewhere for it? Or...
I just kind of wave someone down. No, because Lisa's by herself. You have to go to Lisa.
Gotcha. I will find this Lisa. Thank you. And I'll walk away.
Yeah. Coffee's had. I'll say one last thing, Arrow, as you hear people going downstairs and you're about to go downstairs as well for coffee. It's still sort of early in the morning, enough where there's not a lot of light coming in, so you probably have a candle. Just sort of look at yourself in the mirror. You blow it out and there's still a light. And you look at it and it's a little small orb of yellow, and you can touch it and it goes through your hand. And you have a connection. You feel like a connection with this light. Like you can give it a command. Small one.
I think I might just kind of send it in a circle to see if I can make it move.
And the moment sort of thoughts comes in, you're like, more. 3 more orbs show.
Can I just start almost like an orchestra almost, start kind of seeing how they can move together in tandem?
Yeah. Start to do that. They almost do like a figure 8 going into the motion. It's kind of a joyous moment as you look around, seeing all this happen, and your face crosses with the mirror, and in that brief moment, you look back and you have one blue eye.
Can I do a double take?
Yeah. Still there, as long as the orbs are there.
I'll rub up my eye, like kind of lean into the mirror now to check.
You lean in. It looks like a familiar eye.
Kind of like in that confusion, I kind of lose focus on the light, I think.
The orbs go away, and as you reopen your eye, back to green.
Can I resummon the light? Just a test. On and off. Make sure it wasn't a fluke.
Coming back, so you resummon the light. Open your eye. Blue.
I'll snuff the light out again and just be like, huh. Okay, that's new. That's really new. Keep that to myself.
Okay. Head downstairs. Coffee's had. And I'm assuming we all head to Joshua's office unless there's anything you'd like to do in the meantime.
I'll continue to see if I can ask around.
Oh, for like a paladin order?
Any information, any leads, any group. I could
Is there
probably
anyone
dig up.
specifically that you're asking around? Or are you just going to random strangers going, do you know of a paladin order?
I'm going to people who don't look, or who look like they're doing something, but they're not walking around.
So you are going to
Like
random people.
Yes,
Pulling
absolutely.
a
I don't know.
at the boat party.
Oh, God.
I don't know anybody here, so
Yeah,
I am just using my best insight to determine. Hey, maybe they might know something.
This would be less of an insight and...
Perception.
No, not a perception. This would probably be like a persuasion check, maybe.
Well,
Like-
it could be persuasion or it could be intelligence. I have a 0 in intelligence, so that it makes perfect sense that I'm asking random strangers.
No, because I would say persuasion because it's like, how could you start a conversation with a random group of people? You have to be fairly charismatic to do that and for the conversation to sway in your favor.
Oh, +2.
Call it out the check if you want to make it.
Woo! Let's go. Alright. Okay, that's an 8.
An
It's a
8.
great start.
You go to the first few people and they're just like, I'm sorry, we're busy. And continue on their way, doing something else. You go to the next couple and you see they're like, I think what ends up happening, you see there's a couple in a morning stroll and you are running behind going, oh, perfect. These people don't look like they're super busy. You make yourself known a little too close. The woman screams, grabs onto probably like the boyfriend, and they're just like, no, we don't want any. We don't want any.
No, I'm sorry.
No, no, no.
I'm sorry.
We don't
No,
want
no.
any. Goodbye. Bye. It's a rough morning.
Damn it.
Crushing it.
Damn it.
All
Alright.
Phoenix, you're the first to arrive at Joshua's office.
Yeah.
And following behind you is probably the rest of the crew. So you guys are outside of Joshua Haynes' office.
Does he have like a
Get into
door?
that.
Oh, sorry.
I
Go
have a
ahead.
question.
What was the
Sorry,
question?
sorry.
Yeah.
With what I was whittling, I was trying to like carve something. How far into that do you think I could have gotten?
Just for sort of like a bit of a morning, 25% done.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you all convene at the outside of Joshua's office.
I'm gonna take the initiative. I'm gonna knock on the door.
Stare at each other for a moment. Worst knocks on the door. The door does open, but not by Joshua. You see dark skin, braided black hair that's been pulled back, long earrings, sort of straight earrings, golden, with golden eyes, and looks to be a cut across the face. A younger looking person with sort of black robes, a clear symbol of sort of the lawmaster and basically like an investigator badge, showcase that they're part of the law here at Model Pier. White sleeves. Person opens up and goes, "Hi, you must be Joshua's friends.
Is there an active investigation going on at the moment?
I like that. Right to business. I'm gonna.
Well, my time is precious. I'm assuming yours is too.
You're not wrong.
So let's cut the check.
You come in, sitting on the couch, cleaning things up, sort of like putting away some of the scraps and things, and just trying to clean as much as possible. Hey guys, morning. Did you have coffee already?
Mm-hmm.
Cool, because I didn't think I'd have enough for all of you.
I figured as much.
Yeah. Harper Hunt, rest of the people here. You see, Harper looks to you all and goes, "Hi. I saw what you guys did at the, I saw the events of the court. That was horrendous. That was bad. I didn't like that Dragonborn guy."
Yeah, I also did not like him.
Kind of a prick.
Now, I'm gonna be very honest. If I were in your shoes, I'd be shaky with anyone who has authority, myself included. Obviously, Prosecutor Yuka is going out for blood, and now I feel like I got a little bit of an intro already with you guys, get an idea who I'm working with, but you don't know who I am. Harper Hunt, just Harper's fine. I'm one of the workers down at the investigation unit for Model Pier. Now, I don't peg any of you all as the let the bad things kind of happen type of people. I mean, you saved a few people out on the torn chain, so I feel comfortable with that. I'm trying to do the same. Trying to save a few people. So hopefully you can help me out with that. Have you ever heard of writer's block?
In general or like a place?
Just in general.
Yes.
It's kind of what I'm having right now, which is why I requested some help. I wish I was only writing a book, to be honest. But if I can't solve this, I think more people are going to die. That's where you come in. Need fresh perspective. Someone looking where I'm not. Here, I brought a visual aid. Might help out.
What am I looking at?
I'll show you.
Perfect.
Yay, we also get visuals.
Yay.
Yay!
He goes, for the last month and a half, 3 bodies were found within the docks district of Model Pier. Random killings are hard to pin down. But after the 3rd killing, we noticed something similar. So we pulled all the other files out, tried to organize what we can, and this is what we came up with. The aforementioned bodies, all of them found within the docks district, all of them had a cause of death. Stab wounds. Random, but from what our forensics teams can tell, with precision. Whoever was doing this was not a nervous killer, someone who was comfortable with a blade.
How long has it been going on for?
Month and a half. Yeah. Bit of interesting point. None of the 3 victims knew each other. I looked into their family history to see if maybe there was any time that they crossed paths via work, maybe some social events. Not really. Maybe there's something I'm missing. I don't know.
be
They all
a
had a-
string sewer.
Then they had a calling card. Something similar that all of them had. Discarded food was left with each body.
What kind of food?
Well, first victim, Lucy Muse, was left with an orange peel. Jorgen Stonewell, second victim, was left with a shrimp's tail. Renee Shine, latest victim, was left with the top part of a carrot.
The green part?
Yeah.
Legati writes that down.
By chance, has a body been found recently without the calling card?
I mean, dirty dealings happen a lot in Model Pier. Occasionally you'll run into a scuffle that turned violent. I mean, recently we did have a body, but there was no calling card. Had everything else that fit the description, but not the food.
I just kind of look at him, just like, huh. But I'm not saying anything right now.
When was the most recent of the killing?
About a week and a half ago. Yeah. A few things that we know for a fact, obviously everything I just mentioned. But yeah, from what we can assess is that all the bodies were found in the docks district, meaning that whoever's doing this feels comfortable in the district. Not sure if that means they live there or they're working there, but they do frequent there. Enough where they feel comfortable doing this. I spoke to most of the family members of the victims, and as far as they've told me is that they don't really know if they had any enemies or if they made some bad dealings. They just seemed like working people. So it's kind of hard to narrow down anything else. Figured we can get some fresh perspective.
So, we've established that these victims did not know each other,
As far as the families informed me.
but they've been all killed in a similar way, and a similar calling card was left. Something that strikes me as curious is that these killings do not appear to be random. It appears to me that these people were targeted, specifically chosen by the culprit for possessing certain qualities, possibly, or perhaps a specific whim of the culprit.
They all work
sounds
at
like-
the docks. Do you
Yeah.
know what kind of work they do? The victims?
Yeah, Lucy Muse was a field hand. Worked at the in the vineyards in the old district. So we were able to look her up. Though she did work in the old district, she does live in the docks area. Jorgen Stormwell was an apprentice at Ironworks, which is the local blacksmith down at the docks. And Renee Shine was a waiter at the Cot Pot. It's a restaurant here in the docks.
What was the first one's name?
Lucy Muse. You can actually look at the board in Roll20. You can see her name.
The body that was found, it was stabbed similarly, but there was no food remnant with it.
Yeah, we did have a body appear a few days ago. Not too long, like maybe about 4 days ago.
Was she found in an alley?
Yeah.
I think I saw it.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
go into my bag and I pull out a fishbone. This was left with it. I didn't think much of it. I chased off the guy, but I lost him.
If you were there, you chased off the person. Damn, only if you were there a few minutes earlier. But The world's full of woulda couldas, huh? All right. Grabs the fish bone.
Question.
Hmm.
Miss Muse worked for the vineyards.
Yeah.
Tell me, those vineyards, what crop do they produce?
She worked for a vineyard called the Golden Grape Vineyards. They provide sort of these beautiful white and golden colored grapes.
Grapes that you would say could possibly be used to make an assortment of different foods, but in particular, perhaps could be used to make drink.
Well, that's a vineyard.
Like wine.
It's kind of what their whole thing was.
Ah. And what places would sell something like wine or mead?
I mean, definitely the Cot Pot would probably sell wine like that. But the only problem I'm seeing a connection to is if there was any further connection with the blacksmith.
I
Well,
wonder if they were regulars. Perhaps
Possible.
our culprit is.
now, potentially here, an apprentice at Ironworks, the local blacksmith. Blacksmiths, to my knowledge, craft the manner of different utensils and weapons that people use on a day-to-day basis. Is it possible to is it possible to find out whether the Ironworks produces any form of cutlery?
Yeah, it's an avenue we haven't dealt with. We can certainly talk to them.
Because it something I'm seeing here is a culprit who doesn't necessarily know where to strike at their victims, but strikes them with a steady hand.
Yeah.
Cuts are clean. Maybe not intentional is not the word. Perhaps not. Perhaps maybe the strikes themselves are clean, but they're just not. They don't have the same
I can fill out
intent.
that. I know we're sort of grasping at that, but from what we can tell, at least from sites where we found the bodies, it does seem like there are signs of a light struggle. It almost seems like the killer is coming at different angles,
Of
depending
course.
on where they're attacking. So I think what you're heading at, and I think is right, is the killer's always coming at this with a different angle, but whenever they do strike, it's clean.
Yeah.
Can I roll insight just to see what I can remember from that moment? Because the only thing I have in my notes is strong smell of blood and iron.
Yeah, go ahead and I think this would be like maybe a perception check.
It's still the same, so that's going to be 13.
13. I think you were more worried about that full moon and everything, and I think that was more concerned. It was more of a concern, and when you did come up to the body, the curiosity of taking the fishbone was definitely something that you did, but figure was cloaked, black cloak, had a hood over the face, was hard to determine. Full details and from your memory, it's just not coming.
Was there something special with the knife? Just don't remember.
Was a beautiful black blade.
I'll tell back to Harper. I'm like, I remember a black blade. Is that rare in this town?
I mean, you can always... Blacksmiths can always, if you're ordering a blade with black metal, it can be done. It's definitely unique. I can't imagine that it's made, at the regular, because if you're trying, assuming it would it'd cost more. Fortunately, that's something I can't answer.
How many blacksmiths are in the town?
There's a few, but we were able to narrow down based on the location of the bodies, about a street or two. And so far we were able to locate the one blacksmith that is in our purview, which is the ironworks.
Could you tell me, have you been to the Cot Pot yourself?
I haven't. It's a ritzy place. Too expensive for my taste.
Would you happen to know, perhaps be able to obtain some of the menu items they provide?
I'm sure if we come down with an official request and kind of taps the badge on his chest, I'm sure they'll provide.
No, I don't think we need to go to that extreme. I think the opposite is in order here. I think perhaps maybe we go do some sleuthing. Perhaps we go down to the Cot Pot and observe its goings-on, you know? Take a look at its menu, the ingredients in said dishes. Perhaps take a look at the staff.
Is this
The
board
cooks?
actually up?
Yeah, like he'll provide you as a visual aid you can look at. And as this investigation continues, we can add more to the board if possible.
I think, like, Phoenix is listening. She's not talking. But if there's a quill or something, she writes beginning above the names of the victims. And then near the discarded food, she puts the end.
Oh, in the beginning of the victim and then the end. Okay, got it.
Mm-hmm.
We should add that. It doesn't have to be right now, but we should add the other body to this list, definitely. So you've narrowed it down to like a block and a half. Is that were all the bodies found in that same place? Is that a block and a half around the Cot Pot or elsewhere?
Around the Cot Pot.
And the bodies had no indication of being moved significantly?
No. Seems that the killer was waiting for them to cross a certain path, taking their chance in a alley or behind a shop where it was less crowded, less foot traffic, and just doing the deed and leaving.
And the murders were done at night?
That's unfortunately something we can't confirm. The first body we found, the body was already going through rigor mortis.
Mhm.
The one I witnessed was about twilight.
I mean, cover of dark definitely does provide a little more aid when you're doing this.
It seems like we know where we need to look.
But the question is what?
What do you mean, what?
We know where we need to look. Obviously, there seems to be something going on at the Cot Pot. But what are we looking for? And if we put our facts together, we have, as of right now, known on this board, 3 bodies, all stabbed, clean cuts, steady hand,
And a black knife.
a black knife, a calling card of discarded food, specific types of food, foods ranging from fruits, vegetables, and oddly enough, seafood. Now, people, victims specifically, that seem to have a possible connection to the Cot Pot, either as a supplier, or in the case of Mr. Shine, a direct employee.
Like a chef?
No, Renee Shine is the waiter.
Waiter.
Yeah.
I'm with Diva. I think we should look at the employees.
Yes.
A chef would know how to hold a knife.
He might have his own personal knives, and he has access to food scraps.
Precisely. And I've been trying to hint at this since we started.
You see Harper, sort of this, sort of built fellow, puts a hand on your shoulder. Morrison goes, "Let's not beat around the bush."
Why don't we just go check out the blacksmith while we're at it? Special blades like that have to have a kind of record.
How do we want to handle this? One by one, or do we want to look at different places and separate times?
Well, do we have the money to go into the restaurant inconspicuously?
I certainly don't.
You see him sort of give a roll of an eye. We'll order from the cheap side of the menu.
Wait, do they order from August? Above table, do they order from August for meat and stuff?
Oh, the cot pot?
Uh-huh.
Absolutely.
I have a run by there. That should get us an in if some of you are quiet.
I felt insulted by that.
I can be.
It's normally just me, so if I show up with a group of people that I don't normally show up with, that's a little weird.
Extra set of hands to carry something?
Okay, maybe you two be sneaky, and I look at Diva and look because Moors and I'm assuming Arrow look like they could lift. So.
I don't mind waiting outside. If we have not solved this situation by the time the sun starts to go down tonight, I propose I alter my appearance and wander around the area in dark alleys and see if I get attacked.
That's a little risky, don't you think? Can you see
Risky
it
was
more?
not a bad idea.
Wait,
If you
can
guys
see
are
it more?
close by, I'm sure you'll intervene before I am stabbed all the way to death. You will, right?
Yes.
I would
Yes.
if I really were.
I can have mage armor on additionally, so I will not be quite as vulnerable as I will appear.
I mean, they're all working class, right? I thought you said there's nothing in common. Obviously, they hang around the cop pot or whatever, but they're all working class people this person has murdered.
Yeah. Well, we have to look into the new body and sort of put him on the board, see if there's any further connection. But as far as I can tell, yeah, most of them were just working folks. But that's a broad, statement to say they're working folks. Most people here in Maltapure are just working folks, which is why it's not part of the similarities. But you're right. Yeah. The extraordinary similarities is what's putting on the board.
I still say beginning and end. Because I think when Phoenix looks at it, all three of these people are starting out, and the piece of discarded food that they were left with is the end. So it's a little weird.
Well, I mean, they don't grow oranges at the vineyard, so I'm not sure why, if there was any further connection between Lucy and having orange peels. Jorgen was...
It's like they do make, there is such a thing as like orange wine, but unless there's something else we're missing there.
I mean,
Yeah.
it just sounds like sailor food to me.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that these calling cards were not random. They're connected.
Well, let's not beat around the bush now. Do you have an idea? Or is this an assumption?
This is just preposition on my part.
Well,
I have a
regardless, it's a
feeling-
thought. I like that.
Yeah, I have a feeling that perhaps these are people that had... Okay, I'm going to say this outright. I have a feeling that we should be looking at the cooks, specifically the chefs. As others have mentioned before, there's not that many people in the kitchen that have a steady hand and have, blade skills, who have access to food scraps, and have an actual reason to have a knife as part of kitchen staff. On top of that, perhaps given that each of the murder victims, with the exception of Mr. Shine, worked with some form of supply that a cook would need, a chef specifically, there might have been an interaction that the potential culprit did not like, and that's how he chose his target. Perhaps he argued with Miss Lucy Muse about why their vineyard doesn't supply oranges. Maybe the price of oranges for their other supplier is bad. And when he presented this argument to Miss Muse, she basically told him to kick rocks.
Before we start bringing up or start to imagine a scenario without all the pieces, let's talk to some people first. So right now we're doing speculation. We can go down a rabbit hole with that.
Is an
I mean-
apprentice privy to knowing who buys what? Because if somebody bought that blade from the blacksmith and he knew that information,
I mean,
I don't know. So
I honestly couldn't tell you. I've never experienced a life as a blacksmith apprentice, so I don't know. So,
I mean,
Did
I
we
still
con-
think we should ask the blacksmith this like purchase of a black blade. Like you said, that's unique enough that there's might be a memory of that.
Did we confirm that the known victims, I mean, obviously one works at the cot pot, but the other ones were regulars or have been there? Is that a fact we know?
no. That's,
Okay. So if we can establish that they all often or sometimes went to the cot pot, then it might be a tax of opportunity. Just people who happen to be in the area. Another theory, at some point today, if possible, do you still have the dead bodies of the victim?
they are being kept in the morgue.
I would like to see, preferably the most recent one, if that is possible.
Yeah, we can get that done.
Okay, and Legati addresses the others and says, if you do find someone you do think is suspicious inside the cot pot, I propose I take on the appearance of the most recent victim, enter the cot pot and try to talk to that person, and we'll judge their reaction. If they would be the only one knowing that it's somebody dead come back to life to talk to them, and if they freak out, there's our murderer.
You're trying to scare them with ghosts.
I believe that if this person was not cautious and afraid of getting caught, we would have caught them by now. So, I believe they would be able to be frightened.
All right. It's a solid idea. An ability that I don't have. I haven't talked to obviously all the employers yet. I haven't talked to the ironworks, haven't gone to the, vineyards or cot pot yet. So how do we handle this? I like the fact that you're bringing up some ideas I haven't thought of yet.
I mean, let's go least invasive to most. Let's start with the blacksmith. Ask the questions. Have Phoenix go talk to the kitchen staff under the guise of meat delivery.
Okay.
And after that, we'll attempt it with the vision of a ghost.
Yeah, Legati wants to go see the most recent body and also investigate it, if possible.
Okay.
I'd like to kind of whisper to Legati, trying to keep it as quiet as possible. So this illusion you say, you're not gonna actually do anything to the dead person, right?
What exactly are you implying?
I'm saying that you're using magic, right, to change your appearance, not anything else, right?
Oh, speaking of bringing the dead back to life,
That's not something you do, is it?
if I had that ability, we would have no problem here.
Huh.
We could just undo the murders.
Noted. Alright.
All right, solid plan. We'll do a quick split up, see what we can find out. Some people will investigate the ironworks, and some people will do the guys at the cot pot. All right, how are we splitting this?
I'm intrigued. I'm going with Legati to go see the body.
Okay, we'll have Diva. Well,
Phoenix
actually,
is
we'll have
slowly putting on her stuff in the background.
we'll have Harper, Diva, and Legati go see the body, and then we will have Phoenix. You're gonna go talk to the kitchen staff or go to the cot pot.
I'm gonna go check in with August first.
Okay.
And then go there.
Who will be joining Phoenix?
I'll go.
Okay. And then Morris, is your attempt to go talk to the blacksmith, or you're also going to do the cot pot?
I will make a quick dash to the blacksmith and try to get some information, and if nothing fruitful comes of it, I will try to scope out the cot pot.
Wonderful. We will execute on this plan right after a toddler break. So, BRB. And we're back. So we are splitting up the team into 3 parts. So I think it might be best right now to do... Morris, right now, you're going solo to the blacksmith. So we're going to follow you going off right now. And then we'll go to the morgue. And then we'll go to the cot pot.
Oh, this is gonna be fun after that comment you just made.
You go to... So actually, I think this is probably a great... And by the way, I updated, for those who are watching, updated our little murder board on the way to the morgue. And I'll slip this in a little bit. Harper's going through their notes and is going... The last victim, the one that we are now confirming with the fish bones. Rebecca Long, human, female. From what we investigated prior and what we could find was that she was a maid at one of the Weave Mother's clerics' home. A Wave Mother, excuse me. Wave Mother. Now, you'll see here that I obviously didn't spend that much time on it. But sometimes less is more. Trying to excuse myself.
You did.
Morris.
You went through like boards.
That's my name.
Blacksmith. Here you go, buddy.
Got it.
Blacksmith is surrounded by several other shops on the street. Sort of that block and a half that was where all the bodies were found. Cot pot is across the way. Surrounding the blacksmith is a cookware shop, a tailor's, and a leather shop. Not Aaron's leather shop. Seems like a competitor. You enter in the blacksmith. It is hot as the door opens. There is already a forge going off in the back of the blacksmith. There's no one at the counter, but you can hear... There are numerous swords and daggers across, sort of like mounted across a lot of the walls here. There's shields and armor as well. Some collaboration between this person and the leathersmith, as you know, you see there are certain like studded leather armor, other things for protection. There are even like small little tools that you can see, like this person has been making hammers and screwdrivers and scissors and things like that. But you see a dwarven figure, just the back, sort of this broad shoulder person, who is currently just hitting something on an anvil, does not hear you walk in.
Perfect. I will not interrupt him. I will take a look at the various blades and daggers that are on the wall. I'm going to try to take an inventory of what approximate material it looks like they're made out of, but more specifically colors. Are we talking standard, like, you know, standard steel, or are we talking, you know, maybe something dark, maybe, you know...
If you want to ask, are there any black steel, you could just ask that. Sometimes like dancing.
Well, more importantly, I want to see what types of materials this person works with.
Okay. You do see majority of the use here is steel. It is sort of that shine silver, bit gray coloration on most of the blades here. Short swords, long swords, some daggers here and there. There's a great sword, sort of this large buster thing in the back behind the forge that is currently just collecting dust. There are a couple of shields as well with intricate designs, some of them showing designs of like ship's mid crests. There are ones with almost like flowery designs of trees growing out of a grove. There is a dagger here and there that's sort of been shown here that are colored. Not black, but there is one that's been dyed green. There's another one that's been dyed pink. And all of them have sort of like, they're more like decorative. If you wanted to show it off and sort of pay a hefty amount and go, look at this amazing blade. Because people in real life do that too. But you don't see any black steel blades.
Do I see anything in terms of like materials? Do I see like potentially any obsidian blades? Do I see any blades made out of like, I guess, I don't recall if they had orichalcum blades, but like the green ones.
Mm.
Like they have like I'm looking for that variety.
Yeah. Roll me investigation check.
Oh, I'm great with those. I'm great. I'm great.
What'd you get? A 1? Wonderful. You
I'm
can't
great.
tell. You can't tell. There are, I mean, maybe the green one is a certain, a different steel used. Due to the lack of sort of darker steel, it's kind of hard to tell if something's obsidian or not.
So I see blades of many colors.
About maybe 2 daggers here are different colors. There's a green one and a pink one.
Got it. And then everything else is like the shiny.
Standard. Yeah.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Cool. Now, personal reasons. I'm gonna look at other types of weapons that are there that aren't blades. This is personal though.
Nothing that's beyond just a standard dagger that, or like a straightened edge weaponry that you can see that's on display.
That's a shame.
Maybe we need to go back to the room.
That's a shame.
Turn off equipment.
Yeah. But yeah, nothing really that you can see that's like that in display.
Okay. I'll take a look at his shields. I'll take a look. Same thing, looking for colors, but also more for personal interests. Like, what kind of shields does he have? Does he have like full-on shields? Does he have like the circular ones? Does he have like the more like compact, tiny ones that will get you out of a pinch, but don't use it too much type of thing?
There is one larger shield, like a full-body Spartan type of shield, that is currently hoisted on one of the walls.
Yeah.
Steel.
No?
Plain, nothing really full design, nothing pretty. It's just too big of a place, too much of a real estate to actually make designs. There are a couple of compact shields, some of them leather hide. Yeah, there's a bit of assortment here. And then there's like the standard slipping your arm through and sort of having a solid, few feet of protection.
My attention is immediately going to go to that big one.
Okay.
I'm going to take a closer look at it. I'm not going to touch it. I'm just going to, maybe maneuver my head so that I could possibly see around it. How is it held? And, try to envision how Moors would look holding such a thing.
This type of shield, it's so large, and as you start to look at sort of the density of it, like how thick the metal is, this requires 2 hands. It's almost like a right shield.
Oh, interesting. All right. Okay. Do I still hear the sounds of the anvil?
Person's working away. Has not heard you walk in. You've done a quick glance, looked at a shield. I'll say not enough time for them to sort of move on to their next task. You look over the shoulder from this distance because you're over, behind a desk or a counter, and they're some ways away, closer to a forge. They're working on a smaller set of equipment.
Cool. Can I make a perception check to see if anything hung up on the wall catches my attention?
Okay. You've done investigation check and all that. What I provided you is what is there.
Oh. Nice. Okay. I will talk to I will try to get the attention of the blacksmith.
Okay. Making yourself known. The body straightens up a little bit, being caught off guard by someone in, and goes, Hold on 1 second. Move something up. These thickened goggles sort of slide upwards. The person turns around. It is a bearded, dwarven woman with sort of like this crusty, almost like pieces of burnt on her own beard. Her hair has been braided a little bit to pull back so it doesn't catch on fire. She wipes a bit of soot. It's a bit sort of like shavings have been caught on her cheek. Hi there. Sorry about that. Looking to upgrade, my dear.
I'm taking a look around, and I mean, excuse me. I was taken aback by the marksmanship, the craftsmanship in all these items. I mean, that massive shield right now. I've never seen anything like that before.
Oh yeah. Usually build for some of the guards here in case there's ever something that goes out where we need a front line to just cause defense.
That would make sense, yeah.
I couldn't really see anyone using that with one arm, but makes a good defense.
I bet. Look at how thick that is. How long did it take you to make that?
A month maybe. I had a few other projects in the works as well, but I spent a few days, really dedicating some nights, turned into weeks to build that. It's thick. Stop a charging rhino probably.
Ooh, that is interesting indeed. I had just a couple of questions for you. I noticed that you do. It seems like you do specialize in blades. I was wondering if you ever have crafted any sort of weaponry that's not blade related. Maybe something a little bit more blunt.
Oh.
Just to get the point across, if you know what I mean.
No, of course. We have a couple of flails in the back. I do have a few light hammers used for weaponry as well. Anything bigger than a light hammer I don't really have on hand.
Are you capable of making something a little bit more robust, like say a warhammer?
Warhammer. That's a lot of steel.
Yeah.
I mean, with a special order, I could probably get to work on it. It'll take me a few weeks, but yeah.
How much would one of those set you back?
For Warhammer?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see as the DM pulls up. Well, considering generally for a weapon that size, it would run you about 15 gold pieces. But I don't have the steel for that particular size. I'm usually working with blades. So I'd have to tack on about two extra gold for that. 17.
Perfect. Okay. I will keep that in mind. I definitely am looking to acquire something in the near future. I will keep your shop in mind. But maybe something you might be able to help me out with in the more immediate. Beyond just the normal, uses of weapons. I'm looking perhaps for expressing a more natural side of me, I guess, to put it that way. I'm trying to get into cooking.
Oh. Well, I mean, next door is a cookware shop if you wanted to buy a couple of supplies. I do provide them with wares to sell.
And I mean, I've seen your wares. They look fantastic. I mean, I'm still taken aback by that shield. I've literally never seen anything like it before. But I'm looking for something a little bit more special, a little bit something to stand out. And
Well, what do you have in mind?
I mean, I have friends of mine that do. I do have friends of mine that they do cook at home and they like to brag about it. And I've seen their blades. They're very nice. They're very balanced. They're very center weighted. So the way that they are able to maneuver their knife is just an art in itself. That's
Darling,
something.
do I make you nervous?
No, not at all.
Okay. Just
I
making
guess
sure.
I guess what I'm asking really is, they all have that shiny metal look to them, but I mean, that kind of point to me. I'm like, I'm not from around here. If that hasn't become apparent, so I want something that is a little bit more reminiscent of home. Maybe there's a way you might be able to craft a darker blade.
Oh. I mean, yeah, we can provide a dyed blade if you want something a little more deep in coloration. We can do deep blue, maybe something a sort of a dark green. We can go straight obsidian if that's something that you're interested in.
Are you capable, or are you Are you able to craft with obsidian? Is that something you do normally?
Yeah, occasionally there are some requests of that, especially with, some lords and ladies across the kingdom. Generally, we get some orders if they want to have something special to show off.
Interesting. You would happen to have an obsidian blade somewhere here so I could take a look at it, would you?
I might. 1 second. Starts
Of
to go
course.
through a few things. She reaches up for a shelf, looks through that and goes, "Oh man." Pulls out a little, like a cardboard box. The box, it's the bottom itself gives way, and she goes, whoa! And sort of moves back quickly as numerous knives go into the ground.
Careful, careful.
All right, I need a new box. None of those. Oh, here we go. Pulls over, sort of wooden box, flips it open. Here we go. Dyed blades. Dark red, if you're interested in that. But not that. We're looking for something obsidian. Here we go. And pulls out this serrated blade. Almost like it's meant for cutting bread. But deep obsidian. Sort of puts it onto the table, or the counter in front of you. Made this a while ago. I kind of forgot I had it. I make obsidian orders upon requests, so it's not like I carry a bunch with me, but this one was an extra just in case the first one broke. Never did, so I kept it for myself. If you're interested, be happy to sell it.
I take a look at it and I say the work here is exquisite, but when it comes to cutting vegetables, I'm gonna need something with a little bit more precision.
Yeah, I can work on this one. Remove a lot of the teeth, make it a cleaner blade if you want. Take me a few hours and I can get it done by tonight.
Is it? I just out of curiosity, is obsidian usually something that someone in the restaurant industry might request often? Because I'm very new to this myself. I want something different than what my friends have, and I'm just wondering if perhaps maybe you've received a request for an obsidian blade before.
Not very frequent. I mean, in terms of the restaurant industry, I did get an order from the Heroes Banquet in Outslock that ordered a full set. But, I mean, I know that next door has a few in case they want to sell it across the lands as well. I'll have to go through my logs to give you sort of a grander scope, but that's sort of what I know right off the bat.
Would it then be more, I guess, common to just have, standard steel just dyed black?
Oh,
Is that
yeah.
usually the thing?
That's generally the standard. If you wanted to show off, especially if you want something decorative, and that's not because eventually, with the amount of food and acidity that you're cutting in with food, sometimes that dye wears off. So it's going to be deep black, and eventually it's going to start fading.
And that's the concern. That's kind of why I was opting to go with a dye for the knife I would like to use, just because, I will be honest. I love citrus. I love all manner of acidic fruits, and I'm a huge fan of tomatoes personally. I absolutely love them. I can't get enough of them. So I do anticipate working with that type of food a lot, and I could see that dye being a problem. Would like a dyed blade be something like would it be something that a restaurant would use commonly? Like, even if I could be so forward, like,
Are you opening a restaurant?
No, but I do want to at least have that level of quality. And who knows, in the future, maybe if I'm good at what I do, that's definitely on the table.
Like I said, at least from the orders I've seen, I know that the Heroes Banquet has a set, but it's not really commonly used.
Just out of curiosity, I mean, I've never been to the Cod Pot. I've heard a lot about it. It seems to attract a very ritzy crowd, if I may be so forward. What kind of knives do you think they would use?
Can you roll me an insight check?
Absolutely.
I think she's so.
That is going to be. What is the? That'll be 23.
23. she starts to look you up and down as you're asking all these questions, and you get a face across. You almost like catch this as she's looking you up and down, concerned that you're not going to buy anything, and this has just been a bunch of questions that are not leading to a sale. And you see her immediately start to, not immediately, but is slowly starting to grab the obsidian bread cutter knife and starting to put it back in the box and go, maybe you can ask them. Is there anything else I can get you? Is there something anything else you're interested in?
Oh, well, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend.
You didn't offend me. You're wasting my time, but you're not offending me.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. I won't take up any more of your time. I'll just walk out.
Do you speak Dwarvish?
I do.
All right, you just hear a couple of Dwarvish sayings as you walk out the door.
I pay no attention.
Our vision pulls back, and we will meet Diva, Harper, and Legati as you head into the South District. Harper looks to you two and goes, I didn't expect anyone to be that interested in seeing a dead body, but hopefully this helps.
Many people would say there are no fates worse than death. But I feel that there are a profusion of possibilities of such fates. For some people, just living with the thought that they will die is a fate worse than death itself. This is Legati making small talk.
I'm just taking in what you said and be like, that's not wrong.
It's a bit morbid, but I get what you mean. Great. We're doing things in the background.
Like 5 minutes.
Pizza.
No. Sure, let's take a quick moment, and then we'll be right back to that. You're back.
That was a quote from the actual Legati writer. Because he had his whole book about how being alive is horrible. And so he talks a lot about being alive and knowing you're going to die is a fate worse than death itself.
That sounds horrible.
I literally
That's
just
brilliant.
heard this term and now I can't think of what it's called. There's literally the fear of failure and death is like a worse pain or something like that.
That checks
I
out.
think he would definitely agree.
That does definitely sound like something that would have been quoted out of True Detective, so when you say real Legati, I'm like, well, that makes sense.
Yep.
I mean, they don't know. I might have bought a knife from them. Damn.
Rude.
I know.
I think one thing we might want to do, if we don't get a better lead, I think come Twilight Time, I think Legati will become this most recent victim and walk into every one of these buildings, and with whoever has the best insight check, and see if it freaks anybody out.
I will say the blacksmith now has me looking at the cookware shop kind of side-eyed. It's all like, oh, so you sell sets, eh?
Yeah, it feels like we need to go to the cookware shop. I don't feel like the blacksmith is the murderer.
I really just wanted to get a scope of, like, how often these types of blades are made, and if
You were asking the same question a lot over and over again to this woman. She was like, are you gonna buy anything? Like, what's happening here?
No, she never gave me a price for the knife.
You never said you were fully interested. You were just kept on saying, what do they use? And she's like, what are you interested in? So it was a lot
I
of
can't
like,
buy if you don't give me a price. Didn't give me a price for the shields either.
you didn't ask.
Oh, I didn't ask for the big one because that obviously made no sense.
Yeah.
Although maybe in another timeline, maybe.
All right. I'll give us another countdown. And 3, 2, 1. We're back. Sorry about that. We're doing
Magic.
things. Yeah, I think after hearing sort of like the morbid discussion, I think Harper is like, you're thinking way above my own pay grade. I can't even grasp about the concerns that can leave one person.
You never contemplate playing to death?
It's sometimes
Or
it's best.
demise?
sometimes it's best to just, I mean, because I see a lot of death, it's best to just sort of treat it as a job and move forward from there, because if you can't, you start to get attached and concerned, and it sort of, it ruins a little bit of your own way to investigate.
So you don't feel your emotions. Interesting.
It's less of that and more of when they have to be turned off, they have to be turned off. It has to be professional at a certain point.
So you are no better than the dead person. Interesting.
You see like a look on his eyes of like,
We're
what have I got myself into?
compartmentalizing a
Yeah,
lot.
starting to process a lot and go, let's go to the morgue.
Yes, let's go to the morgue.
You are heading into, yeah, there's actually a building next to the,
And clip. Hooray, let's go to the morgue.
hooray!
Yes, death.
You head into the morgue, which is a building right next to a funeral home. It's closer to the edge of the South District, towards the east of the city. Kind of, there is a large graveyard that sort of hits outwards, where a lot of the fields here don't touch. You go into the morgue. There's a couple of discussion that Harper has with the staff hand here, and eventually you are brought downstairs. There are a couple of stairwells that you have to go down. Eventually, the air within the morgue gets a little colder and colder and colder. He picks up a clipboard, starts to go through it, and goes, well, if we're saying the earliest victim, or the latest victim, that is the one that we've now confirmed had fish bones. That would be Rebecca Long. Goes to one of these like metal containers, taps it twice, and this arcane sigil shows. The handle pops open slightly, and almost like a cold spell was constantly being cast, gives way, goes inert, and he pulls out a body. A familiar looking human, female to you, Diva. Someone you saw at the alleyway. Blonde hair, subtle build, wearing a maid's outfit that's almost like half it has been taken off. And you see like almost, she's not fully naked, but it's just the underwear. And there is like a packet here next to it with a lot of her belongings that's been sort of rolled up. So he kind of motion goes, Rebecca Long, 28 years old, female, human.
Legati just looks at Diva and says, you are not squeamish. Like, not so much a question, just like a statement, but still so she'll confirm. All right.
Yeah, which makes what I'm about to do even more interesting. I'm gonna walk up to the body and smell her hair.
Okay, you lean in. Start to get the profiles, and you definitely have to cut through a lot of like this. You're almost smelling like condensation in water due to the cold spell, but you're pushing past that. You have a very trained nose.
Anything outside of the water and the coldness?
You don't smell the scent of blood anymore. It's cleaned up a little bit. There is... Roll me a perception check with advantage, because I know with using your scent, you can do so.
Okay, 16.
16. I think you pull away not feeling confident. And as you kind of like breathe outward and in, something tingles a little bit. You go back for a second, smell, and you try to look for that feeling, that smell, the scent. And yeah, you smell almost like a soft kaleidoscope of different flavors of food.
What is it? Like a salad or like just a mixture of like tastes?
Like someone mixed together seafood, bread, and cheese.
That is a combination, but okay. Like a sandwich.
Yeah,
Like a bisque in a bread bowl.
something like that.
The comparison here, jeez. Hey, this dead guy smells like a soup bowl.
And I think
I,
the
like,
fact
I'll
that-
like stand up and be like, seafood, bread, cheese.
Can you keep that smell in your memory?
I can try.
When we try to spook our potential suspects, we'll look to see their reaction, but also if they smell similar to that, that's another point in favor of our murderer.
I mean, that points more to the restaurant too.
Agreed. Legati peeks in the bag of her belongings so he knows what she was wearing, so that when he looks like her later, he can have the right clothes on.
Wonderful. Yeah, you can unfurl it, get a full eye. You have a wonderful memory. You're almost like taking
Yeah,
snapshots.
Not gonna forget any of it. Yeah.
Getting a full garments list out here. A small satchel bag that you carried. Right now, it is just sort of like a little bit of gold, silver, and copper. There are like handkerchiefs, just small little belongings.
We can see the wound you said, right? Is
Yeah.
the wound like clean or is it like not macerated? What's the word I'm looking for?
Like sharp edge.
Like jagged?
lacerated, yeah.
I'll say roll me investigation check. Either you can roll separately or someone can get advantage.
I can roll with advantage if you want to do that, if you want to help.
Let's do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright. That I rolled 2 7s, so it's gonna be a 12.
12.
Sorry.
I'll point out the places you can see the wounds, which is fairly obvious. There was a stab upwards towards the rib cage, and I think as you start to go and start to like peer through and try to get a closer look, Harper's sort of narrating behind you. First initial strike was done by the rib cage. You can see here, and he starts to point towards you, and he goes, "That one looks not as direct as the rest. This one almost looks like it was done in an upwards motion." And you start to look over the body, and there are a stab right above the chest. This one looks less of a stab, more of a slash, but it's done with such a precision that you see that a lot of the flesh has been peeled back and has gone down a few layers for the muscle to the bone. And then there is a very clean slash across the throat. He goes, the one in the chest, clear if this person was aiming for, as we can tell where the stab or the slash wounds were towards the neck. First one looks like it was initial. The next two looks like they were going for their mark, and finally the last one did hit. With the 12, I think I'm going to give it to you. I think what you can tell, because it would have made a different slash cut, it is not like, it's not messy. Like, it is a clean cut. With a bread knife, it definitely has a lot of teeth, and it would cause like almost like pulling. This one doesn't look like pulling. It looks like a clean slash.
Something very sharp
Yeah.
did this. There's no wounds on the back of the body?
You look at the back of the body, flipping it over. There does not just there's no wounds to the back.
The killer didn't come up and surprise this person, walked right up to her and attacked her that way, so it wasn't an ambush. She may have known the person. Are there using CSI terms, I want to know if there's defensive wounds on the hand, or possibly any of the killer's blood or skin under her nails.
Okay.
I have a medicine check if I want to make that, but
Make a medicine check. Either
All right.
Diva can or Harper can give you the advantage.
Yeah, they can. Yeah, Diva help me out. I'll try to do better.
All right.
Okay, that is a 10. Man, I'm rolling
10. Nothing underneath the fingernails. what I'll give to you is that there does seem to be like bruising or like some scrapes at the palms. Like this person was trying to fight back, but there is no like they didn't try. They unfortunately were unable to get like a claw.
Yeah, maybe too late if the first wound was so dangerous or so deadly.
But I think it's a solid idea is that if this person knew the person, you know, there would be no need for the killer to go behind.
Yeah.
So they felt comfortable enough.
Interesting. Other ideas, Diva?
No. Harper, you're the cop. What do you say?
Well, from what we know is that she lived in the docks area. She worked here in the South District, so quite a distance and walk.
How far is the woman's whose house she worked at from where she was found?
She was found about maybe a 5-minute walk from where she lived, where the body was found, which is within that same block district. Yeah. She was a personal maid at, see if we can pull up the details, at a cleric Langstrom, full name Langstrom Crom. He's a cleric here at for one of the Wave Mother churches. Apparently from what I can tell from our discussions that he asks her to do a lot of small chores, laundry, cleaning up around the house, fixing meals, things like that.
So would she have, assuming she was walking back from work, would she have walked through the area where the crime is believed to have taken place?
No. Yeah, it seems like she would go out of her way, a bit of a walk in a different direction. You said you found her in the alleyway, yeah?
I saw her in the alleyway.
Okay. You can try to talk to Langstrom, but getting his attention might be a bit harder than the others.
How so?
A lot of what the churches do is that they visit ships that are off to sea, you know, giving them blessings, going off to their own sermons? No,
Sermons?
Sermons, thank you. Their own sermons. Busy folk.
Maybe we do that another day if we feel it's necessary, but if we know where these killings are taking place, I feel like going around and talking to people and perhaps smelling the area might be our most immediate way to advance this investigation.
Say we keep it in our back pocket.
Yeah. It makes me worried that we want to use you as bait, but maybe if all else fails, that might be a great idea. I mean, if the killer...
4 killings already, no indication that the killer will stop.
I mean, if the killer thought that Miss Long was dead, and you come back, that might shake up a few things.
Well, let's go shake. I think Brigadi's done here.
Push the body back, taps the Arcane sigil that seals it up, and we pull our vision back as we go back to the street where most of the bodies are found, or almost all the bodies are found. It's funny how Morris is the blacksmith, but I think for the moment, you, Arrow, and Phoenix, you guys are going to...
Oh, we're going to August. To ask
yeah. It's
if we
Loson's
can-
first.
If he has a delivery for the
Okay.
cop.
Lone Sons is found in the Docks District, so it's not going to be that difficult of a walk.
I
For
slow
you-
my pace.
Yeah.
I guess just as kind of walk. have a long stride.
I'm used to running everywhere. It's very rare that I walk with somebody, so sorry.
Don't mind me, I'll do my best to keep up.
Yeah, but she definitely slows her pace.
Needed.
It's a small, little, quaint little butchery. Butcher's shop here. There's a small bell that it rings when you open the door. There's a glass counter with a salt and pepper beard, hair pulled back, and a little sort of net of an older gentleman who goes, "Welcome to Lowland, Phoenix."
I know.
Hi.
I'm back already.
You're back already. Don't tell me that you're investigating my meat.
No, but I need like a favor. Oh, this is Arrow. Arrow, this is August. And wherever the heck Jeffrey
Yeah, I
is.
saw you at the courtroom.
Our first meeting? Pleasure.
Pleasure.
So, do we have a delivery for the cot pot by chance that I could take?
No.
Can I take one anyway?
Any reason
She
why?
gives like that awkward smile. Part of our community service is that we have to do a murder investigation, and that's a place we have to go to, and that's kind of my only in to even be there.
Right. Sure, I'll write this off on taxes, I guess. I guess technically, yeah, I'm helping out the community.
Just put it underneath community service or something.
Sure. Let me collect a few things. What they generally order is boar and beef, so let me see what I could find.
I guess we'll have to say that we're doing it because of community service. I don't know. We'll figure out something.
Are you gonna mention my name or our name?
Should I not mention your name?
I don't know. They didn't order anything. Are we just giving this away? How are you
We
presenting
did.
it?
Do they have an event or something coming up?
Not that I'm aware of.
Could maybe just write it off as paperwork scrambling. I got a delivery, or we think we did.
Oh, forgotten invoice maybe?
Something like that.
Might work.
Who do I normally talk to over there? I don't know who I talk to. Amber doesn't know who she talks to.
It's less of you like you talk to someone important. It's like you head to the back of the cot pot, and there was a wagon spot where you just sort of left it there. Knocked on the door and talked to like a chef who was like, "Oh yeah, hold on," and signs it a little bit. And every person you met has been different who signs for it and collects it.
I mean, they don't like shake me down or anything. They just let me check in and leave. So maybe just, I don't know, say you found an invoice all of a sudden.
Perfect. Yeah. I
Maybe
can make
you
a copy of
accidentally
the
wrote
past
out
invoice
two.
and I can make something smaller.
Okay.
It's not going to be a full delivery.
That's fine.
All
Just means I don't have to do the harness thing on the cart.
Starts to pack a few slabs of meat, puts it into a cart, and you are all set.
Do you need to ride on the cart, or how's this gonna work? Because I generally just full speed run with this thing.
With how fast you walk, I don't think I could keep up, so if you don't mind.
She
I'll
will
let you
let Arrow go on the cart and just pull the thing.
Whee!
She doesn't want to take that long. She's like, I don't know how to do this and that, so I'm just gonna awkwardly pull this cart with all of her might.
I'm gonna throw it out there tight underneath the art of this.
It will be done.
Arrow's legs and hands out. Phoenix going,
All just falling off.
No,
meat being
at least
tossed.
keep it on the cart if you're back.
You eventually get to the cot pot, back area where you generally leave
I will
deliveries.
stop like a little ways away and then tell Arrow, you need to get off the cart. Always is gonna look really weird.
Fair enough. I'll get off.
I'll just walk up instead of full sprinting.
Okay, both of you head to the back. There's a small ramp that leads to the backside. There already is a chef outside who's smoking. By the way, if anyone's ever worked in the food industry, they're always smoking.
They all smoke.
They all smoke. It's a stressful job. Just sort of kicking back, sees it. Delivery?
Yeah. Where do you want me to put it? Or where
There's
do you want
fine,
us
I'll-
to put it?
There's fine. Knocks on the door. Robert, we got a delivery. I'm on break. You take it in.
I can take it in.
You sure?
Yeah.
Gotta
I
get
mean, there's
in.
2 of us.
Opens the door, and you hear a clattering of pots and pans, people yelling in the back, corner, back, behind you. We got 2 minutes on the fries. Are we almost done with that? I need flipping and just yelling. It's almost like kitchen nightmares. Just, we got Hell's Kitchen, just people yelling at each other right now.
I think Phoenix is just trying to spot like the freezer. So she's like, does it induce mayhem?
I'm gonna be looking at like the people and also the things that they're using to like. Particularly, like I want to see who's handling me.
Got it.
Just look like you're directing me, and I'll just lift this stuff, and you can watch. And I'll just say that underneath my breath.
Sure, I'll play along.
I would like both of you rolling perception check, and considering this is indoors, you don't have to do it with a disadvantage.
Yeah.
I want to do this
too
weird
light.
dice. I don't know.
Oh well, that one's help.
Oh my god. Perception?
Perception.
17.
17. You're looking specifically for the freezer, or were there cold box or some
everybody
place where they would
sus,
keep their
but
meat?
yeah, generally, I don't want to like. Phoenix doesn't like all the attention, so she doesn't want to make some guy trip over her trying to get this delivered.
The guy who is smoking sort of throws a cigarette and goes, "Hey!" And you see another guy come in and goes, "You need help?" And he goes, "We already got help. Robert, you're too slow. We have delivery, everyone. Closer to your stations." Everyone looks back, sees you two, and goes, "All right, yeah." And they are now aware of you and will try to avoid you as you start to make your way around.
Okay.
With a 17, you can definitely see what the guy goes, "You want to go to the right?" Points around. You do see there is like a metallic fridge type situation that looks a little deeper than what we would consider like a cold box or something like that. So he goes, "You want to go there? Drop it off there when you're done. Do you have paperwork I need to sign?"
Oh, I had him the invoice.
All right, cool. And unfortunately, with the natural one, it's not like it's people are switching stations. People are moving from one end. They're helping each other. There's a lot of like, I got to do this. Can you please chop that off? So it's hard to tell who is specific to one station. But you do see that a lot of them are wearing white sort of chef outfits. Instead of hats, like what we consider like a standard French chef hat, it's like tight bandana around each of their heads that's pulled tight to keep their hair all in place. Everyone here, regardless of race, is clean shaven, so that there is no like facial hair. Yeah, people of all races. There is, a couple of tieflings, a dwarf here and there, majority human, some elves who are just cooking and sort of working together, trying to make sure that their lunch rush goes well.
Can I look in the freezer? I think Phoenix plays back that thought of Legati telling her, "Oh, you're gonna miss the dead body." She's like, "Oh."
Yeah, I mean,
and then she's like gonna remember and try and look around in the freezer while she's in there.
This is differently built than the one in Lone Suns. Instead of utilizing
A room.
underneath to keep everything cold, there's nothing arcane about it. It's just the depths of within the earth keeps things cold. This is fully arcane supplied. There are runes that just give bursts of cold air here and there, and you put it down. Maybe looking through a few of the packages and slabs of meat here, some fish, there's like shrimp, and there is a full cod and a couple of meat that you remember like that has been delivered. No bodies.
No, but I mean, if anything stood out, I don't know if somebody's like a weird creep and then just saves all these little scraps of and uses them when they go murder these people.
Not in here.
Okay. And she goes back up. Did you find anything?
Looking at the chaos. No, you.
No. Although their freezer's really neat.
I doubt we have time to talk to the chef. They seem busy.
I will try and talk to the guy that waved me in. That's maybe so we're not in the way.
Yeah, he's waiting for you outside. He's still on his break.
Oh yeah, I have to get the invoice. I'll go run out there.
Yeah. There you go. That it?
I think so. Are you guys having any events or anything lately? Because, I mean, I normally only do one delivery.
Maybe. Hold on real quick. Fortune! Fortune, you in there? Hold on 1 second. Walks in, and a moment passes, and he is followed out with this beautiful pink tiefling. Bright pink, like neon, masculine figure with sort of black horns that pull back. Wearing like a suit and tie, with the suit itself sort of like almost like the jacket sort of opened up. Walks in, goes, yes, we had a question.
Oh, I was just asking if there was, she gets nervous for a second. She's like, an event? And I don't normally do 2 deliveries.
Did we have a scheduled delivery today? Looks back, and there's like a head chef that goes, nothing I remember.
Oh, maybe there's like a mistake on the invoice or something. I don't know.
Can I see that?
She hands it over.
Low Sense, yeah?
Yeah.
All right. We're currently busy. I'll have a discussion with him later. Events?
She's like, uh-oh, we got him in trouble.
No. We don't really have anything planned. Probably for, the anniversary, but that's not until a few months now.
Is it a perception or insight to clock what this guy's got on him? Because that's normally what Phoenix does when she meets new people.
Yeah. Perception is sort of looking at the person, sort of seeing what's on their, what they're wearing, what they're doing. Insight's more like trying to assess personality, body language.
I'd like to do that.
Go for
Yeah, I
it.
was gonna say body language, but you could do body language. I'll do stuff. Okay, not bad, but not great. 14.
4.
No.
I switched dies too. It's just not my thing.
Regardless of like the bright colored skin that you can see poking out of most of the clothing here, this person is straight up business from the interaction that the small interaction you've had so far. With your role, Phoenix, what you can see that they're wearing rings. Everything is finely made. This is a rich place, so it kind of makes sense that they're making a fair amount of money, and that the owner, or at least maybe someone in charge, is also sort of enjoying the wealth.
Okay. I was trying to write.
Arrow will speak up actually. Is the other chef also out here?
The one who was smoking is still out there, but like taking maybe a step to not fully like, this is not my conversation.
Arrow will speak up and be like, not to sound bizarre, but you have any scraps for us runners? I mean, we just made a spare trip for nothing, and no offense, but I don't think I could pay to be one of your clients.
Do we have anything in the abandoned box? And you see someone in the back go, yeah. Filet mignon. Customer ordered it, came out the wrong temperature and or cook, and so we had to abandon it. How long ago was that? About 20 minutes ago? If you're fine with a cold piece of steak.
I'll take it.
Fry it up. At least get it warm enough, edible. Make sure that's, presentable. It might be a little more cooked than a medium, if that's all right.
Many thanks.
Wonderful.
And while we're out here, I want to kind of like poke around, see what kind of regular food scraps they might have by like any dumpsters or anything.
Yeah. Sort of just looking around the immediate area from some of the dumpsters that have like their opening, the tops fully open. A lot of like lettuce heads, just sort of like vegetable scraps that can't be used in a dish. There are not a lot of meat scraps here. Get a sense that they utilize as much as they can.
What about like fish ends, like the
Fish
ends
ends?
of shrimps or like bones?
I find
I'll
it weird
s-
that there's no shrimp tails.
I mean, I'll say this, not in the dumpster you're looking at right now.
Fair enough.
You know, there's a lot more here to look, but in this immediate glance
Yeah.
is what you see.
Okay.
I think Phoenix is kicking herself because she never thought to ask for food. So that's a new win.
You see the owner Fortune, who looks at you and goes, "Anything else I can help you with? Is that it?"
No, I'll talk to August though. I mean, maybe it was just a mistake. I don't want to get him in trouble.
Fair enough. I appreciate the delivery.
Thank you. Appreciate that from the abandoned box. Never mind.
Morris, as you walk out, you see Phoenix and Arrow walking with an empty cart. It's like an empty wagon from behind the cot pot.
Are they walking in my direction, or are they walking like
Yeah, they're walking in your
ahead of
direction.
me? Okay.
So what you're looking at on the street, you would be like right in front of the blacksmiths, and they're coming up from the northern side of the cot pot. So like right here.
Okay, so I will try to meet up with them and try to make it, as inconspicuous as I can, I guess. Just be like, hey, you guys find anything?
Steak.
They're chewing on a piece of steak. It's actually quite nice.
Yeah.
Well seasoned.
Yep, found steak. All right.
I did go down in their freezer, but I mean, nothing. Arrow was supposed to look for knives, but I think Arrow got a little distracted in there.
I'm sorry, it was loud and there was movement. I don't do well in... I prefer to stay on deck and in the crow's nest. Put it that way.
Got it. Well, I didn't get much from the blacksmith. Quite rude when I guess they had the suspicion I wasn't gonna buy anything from them. Even though I have like 4 gold to my name, I could have bought something, but didn't even give me the chance.
Unfortunate. Anything good?
Basically what I got is there's multiple types of knives you can make. You can dye them different colors. Black's a common color that you could dye the blades in. But I was looking at what Diva saw. I think it was Diva that saw it, right?
Yeah.
Apologize, I was answering a question offline, but what was the...
Who was the one that potentially saw the killer?
Oh, Diva, yeah.
Okay, Steve. I'm not sure if it was because it was late at night. Could it have been an actual dark blade, or could it have been like a dyed blade? I don't know. I tried looking at different different blades made out of obsidian and whatnot, but I didn't get much more further than that.
Were we aware if it was a dagger or like a sword?
That was a dagger.
From what Diva informed you is that it was, as well as Harper, it was a dagger.
How tall was Fortune?
Fortune? Fortune was just under 6 feet. I think, but what you notice is that
So like my height. 'Cause she's like
a little
5'9".
smaller. The only reason he's under 6 feet is because of the horns.
Oh. That's funny. Okay. I think
Alright,
she's just noting that to compare to who or what Diva saw.
So we could try the cookware shop, or we can try to link up with Diva and was it Gotti? Was it?
Yeah, Legati.
Yeah. Okay.
The one who keeps coming up with ideas about putting one's own body in danger. This is the second time it's come up, I'm just very curious.
Well, he is a very curious fellow.
I like him.
Maybe we should link up with them.
Sure. I think it's confirmed that we have our 3 here, making their way back to the murder street, as we're now going to call it.
That's awful.
That's correct, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Arrow, do you need like a shade thing?
Just like squinting, like, bro, what do you
What are you talking about?
what do you mean?
I could try and make you something. I mean, like, I whittle and stuff. I kind of got into leather, and she points to her, like, I want to say corset, but it's like more of like a cover around her waist. I could try.
I wouldn't put you out of your way.
No,
Is
I
that-
mean,
did you make the thing that you gave me, the butterfly?
yeah, I have a bunch of them, and she kind of like opens her bag. I do when I'm bored.
It's incredible.
Huh.
Very fine craftsmanship.
Thanks. I never really show them to anybody. I used to give them to an old friend. He got really annoyed by them, but he still displayed them, so I mean, I guess it was okay.
What's annoying about it? It's well made.
I was a little kid and he was a very old man. I think pretty much anything I did annoyed him.
Yeah, that sometimes happens.
Eventually, Legati, Diva, and Harper, you guys do make your way back. Seeing that Morris, Arrow, and Phoenix are talking sort of off the I'll say you were like off the corner of the blacksmiths. Try not to make yourself too, noticeable. And now you guys can look at Harper. But yeah, I'll reconvene.
All right, I just assume that we exchange all the information that we've gotten. We don't.
Oh
have
yeah,
to
yeah, we
put
can.
it on
Yeah.
screen again. Yeah.
I give the description though to Diva to see if that matches anything that she's seen when she was running of Fortune to her.
I wouldn't assume it wasn't a giant pink tinkling, because that seems like that would have been memorable.
Yeah.
He had a hood on, right? That would have been tough with horn.
For now,
I-
I get around
I
just
think-
fine.
Yeah. I think the cooking smell or the smell of mixed food definitely seems important.
Oh yeah, I do mention it's all like when I smelt the corpse, there was a strong smell of, wrote it down, seafood, bread, and food. So it is tying strongly to the restaurant, although she was also a maid, so.
Pardon, smelled the corpse?
That.
That's not unusual. Everyone has a scent. You have a unique scent.
Wait, what do I
Who
smell?
are you people? Jeez. Y'all just get weirder and weirder.
No, that's a legitimate question Phoenix asked you, Diva. What do I smell like then?
You smell of matchsticks and cinnamon.
Oh.
I'll take the cinnamon, I guess. It's better than sulfur.
What time is it?
I'll say it's about 2:30, 3 p.m.
Okay, Legati's gonna cast mage armor on himself for this, so it'll just last for the next 8 hours. It makes his skin look disconcertingly like leather for a few moments before that effect fades.
Legati, wasn't it always that way?
Another
on, I'm
one
only
that's out in the sun
44.
too much.
No, I'm saying like that's how your magic is. Like that was the original state it was always been.
Yeah,
And we're just doing the
This
change.
is just a different way my skin can be.
Yeah.
That's what counts. Is,
Really need to get some sunproofing gear or something.
Oh.
I'll take some too if we're offering.
yeah.
Maybe
Legati asked,
it's
like, anything else we want to do before... My proposition is I assume the guise of the corpse. I show you and anyone else who is skilled at medicine what the wounds look like to see if you can notice anything that we didn't. And then we walk into each building on this street. I'll make the wounds go away. I'll just appear as the victim. And everybody look and see how they react. And we'll also be smelling for the telltale smell. Anything else we want to do before we start that part of the operation?
23.
Is that a medicine check? Okay, I haven't done it yet.
Yeah,
but
she
hold
hasn't
on,
done
hold
it
that
So
roll.
hold that.
We'll hold it.
I guess we're not doing anything before because I don't want to lose that roll.
We'll hold it regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll go with the story of she was a maid. We'll go in, looking for stuff for her, but the same master. Master's not the right word.
Yeah.
Her
Employer?
Employer.
Employer. Yeah. But first, the injuries. So Legati walks over to the nearest alleyway.
Mm.
Gestures for folks to come with him.
I
Like, we
go
move over here all the
reluctantly.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure he is
Reluctantly, I
not
go.
standing directly by a window that people can be looking out of.
I'll say easily enough done. You can find an alley, a piece of the alleyway
Okay.
to first security and sort of, you're able to do so without being
I
seen.
think Phoenix mutters underneath her breath, "Fire Mother, help me, Lord."
Okay, also gestures to Arrow to come over here.
I'll join.
Okay.
Yeah.
Legati takes off the clothing he's wearing on his upper body.
This
his
is even
clothing stuff,
weirder, Legati.
Folds that up and gives it to you, Arrow, and then takes his hat and puts his hat on your head, which is has a nice amount of shade.
Yeah.
Nice. It's a wide brim hat.
The obscenity of the scene right now.
Yeah. Okay, so then Legati uses Alter Self to look exactly like the victim, like the corpse. It doesn't replace your clothes, so he is topless and I guess covers with one arm, but replicates the injuries, replicates the down to the finest detail with his memory.
Upper chest,
The throat slash
clavicle.
and the two torso injuries. And then gestures for Phoenix to investigate with her superior medicine.
She does that too.
Yeah.
Upon
and
the
like,
change, Arrow will look away.
so she starts inspecting. Arrow, you know what you asked me what that thing was? It's called a bone eater. At least that's what we call it. And it sucks bones out of your body. So this isn't the first time I've had to do this, but generally they're already dead. And she starts looking at Legati's body.
Bone
You have questions
eater?
about this bone eater thing.
I have so many suddenly.
With a 23.
I've had questions this entire time, but I'm too afraid to ask.
Just guard the alleyway. We're busy.
Just looking, holding my breath. This is
Uh,
awkward for Phoenix. Again, they're normally not alive.
Yeah, it has the presentation of like a cold body that's lost a lot of a color, but because Legati, you're still alive. To touch, it is warm.
Oh, that's
So,
even weirder.
It's such a weird contrast.
That's normally when the
of
other
looks.
thing comes behind it and eats the body. But we'll talk about that later. Anyway.
Does it remain without bones? Or is it bound to
So-
flesh?
So you know how like butterflies have that tongue, and she's like explaining as she's going. It kind of sucks you upwards, hooks it into you, sucks the bones out, drops the corpse, and then there's another thing that comes behind it. But you normally don't stay around for when any of this happens. And she just keeps doing her thing.
Where
Legati
are
is
you from?
This is helping talking about death.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know. It's talking about home, but this is really awkward.
Yeah, you come to the conclusion that it was done with a very, very finely sharpened knife. The skin has been cut in a way where, even though it would have, like, I think what you start to do is you start to investigate. You start to see like the evidence of a slash and like almost a chip away from the bone, where the upper chest is where like the clavicle is.
Can she relate it to like, I don't want to say a killing blow, but that's kind of what she's thinking, like how much force somebody would have to put into that to do it.
Oh, okay. I didn't want to give you the same information that was already provided, because I was like, how much more I can provide. With that question, I think you surmised that the slash against the throat was the killing blow.
I think what she's looking for is like if it's somebody like that's really strong to do that type of cut, like that has enough power behind that to just go into the bone.
I think you sense a lot more of a dexterous hand than a strong hand. And I think that lines well with what Harper's been telling you, is that the person is very precise with their slashes and their cuts. And much like a really good blade, sometimes you just need the blade to do the work for you.
She reiterates that. Are we done now? Or do you have to turn around?
Yeah, Legati, I made a note in the chat, but I remembered that Alter Self doesn't change your clothing. So on the way over here, I had our inspector friend use his use his daily stipend to buy a dress that looks similar to the one that the woman was wearing when she was killed.
There's a
So
tailor's
Legati now-
here.
Yeah,
You can provide.
Legati now puts that on.
It's not weird at all.
Says, should we bother with the cookware shop or should we go straight to the cot pot?
But I think we should just go to the cop pot. Apparently they're rude, but I don't know.
They're rude.
That's what
Can
Morris
our-
said.
No,
No, the blacksmith.
Oh,
Blacksmith.
is rude.
I
Sorry.
never went. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to go into the cook. Well, actually, that's where I was going when I ran into you two.
I mean, we could split again. They're not having an event from what we learned earlier. So, I mean, it should just be a regular dinner service, I guess.
I think Harper speaks up and goes, "Did anyone ask about the missing people, or did we just do subterfuge like we were doing silent stuff?"
No,
no?
we just asked for
Okay.
random questions. It's a little
do we
weird.
want to switch up tactics and try that, or do we think maybe keeping this a low profile is probably the best option?
I'd say
Maybe.
Well,
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say low profile. I think you walking in there and she points to Legati is gonna be a big indicator of something.
All right.
And who should
My-
accompany Legati? Probably not Phoenix and I.
Who
since
is the
they're-
best? Who is the best at reading people? We need Diva's nose. But aside from Diva, who is the best at reading people?
I mean, I'm great at perceiving things.
Maybe you could be her guard or something.
I could be your guard.
Or like maybe you're the employer's guard, making sure she comes back with whatever she's supposed to come back with.
And the Gotti, you look gorgeous, by the way.
Gotti just gives enough.
So we'll have these teams here, split into two. Right.
all right.
Okay. I feel like it's bad to end it here. I want to see at least one of these things play out. So
Might as well.
I'm gonna roll a dice. I think it's the first time I had to roll a dice today. I'll do digital dice. The way we're gonna do it is evens is gonna be team blacksmith, odds is gonna be team cotpot. Team cotpot. Morse, Legati, Diva, and Legati illusioned and transformed with new duds. Feels odd to be in a maid's outfit, but I think you like the change and how this is different than what it, different clothes.
Yeah.
Walk in.
Wait a-
There is
I have a question. Morris, what are you wearing?
My normal clothes.
Are you wearing your armor?
No, did we? Oh, we
But you put
did.
it back on.
Yeah, I would have put it back on.
Yeah, put your armor on. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
what I need.
Yep.
Okay.
you walk in, you see that right next to the hostess stand is what we can now confirm for the rest of the board party is a pink tiefling, long black horns that pull back, currently talking to one of the hostess who kind of perks up, sort of like this young woman, goes, "Hi, welcome to the Cot Pot. We currently have about a 10-minute wait for party 3. Is that okay?"
Yes, it's totally okay. What are some nice specials?
We have a lobster bisque that's currently on special. We have a chicken gnocchi soup that's one of the soups of the day. We have several assortments of fine steak dishes as well. And of course, being coastal city, we also have beautiful fish entrees if you're interested. We
Okay.
still are within our lunch period, so we do provide a lunch size service if you wish.
I think we'll make it for dinner. Is there also a washroom or somewhere like I can freshen up?
Yes, towards the back in the left. See, there's a washroom.
Thank you. Come, Becca. Let's go to the back and go wash up.
Legati, who by the way no longer has the injuries and no longer looks dead, by the
Mhm.
way, this looks alive and uninjured. Legati goes along.
Does it
I
change
think
your
Legati's
voice?
looking at Diva and like tapping his nose, like, does this smell right?
I start sniffing around as we walk towards the back.
Roll me a perception check with advantage.
Be nice. This is mean. So it's 19 because it was actually a 20, but minus 1.
18?
19.
Oh, 19. Well, it's a nat 20, right?
Yeah, but it's remember minus 1.
That's fine. We're going to keep that. You are hit with a cacophony of smells. I mean, you're passing by tables. There are drinks being had. Fish is being cooked. Being presented, being cooked. Different meats. The smell of fats. I think maybe just subconsciously you start to drool a little bit. Just sort of having to wipe a little bit of the smell of cheeses and the beautiful blend of spices. Eventually, I think with a natural 20, crossing the final table and heading towards the washroom, there is a bread bowl appetizer that is provided with sort of this creamy, cheesy soup. And there is almost like chopped shrimp that's been included in this soup, sort of like a hearty broth. And you realize that the smell you smelled on this person is this same entree, or this appetizers you cross in.
So I kind of just lean next to Rebecca Lugatti. So apparently you like bread bowls, because that's what's in your hair.
Alter self. Can I not? Does it change the sound of voice? But I don't know what she sounded like, so I'm not speaking super loud because I part wrong. But just trying to sound like a maid.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
You could switch the chords to maybe sound a little more feminine, but it's like you have to pick a generic.
Yeah.
Like when you're doing a video game custom character, you're like, oh, we'll take voice 2.
Yeah, voice 2 here. Legati's saying, do we think it's the specialty of a particular cook? We got the details on how many cooks were there back there?
No, there were not 2.
I thought there was.
You spoke to 2.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I mentioned there was a collection of different races that work back here, like humans, dwarfs, elves, and so on. Not just 2. Not
couple.
Yeah, there's a couple.
We need to find the soup guy.
I think
We
a
might bring
rough.
them out once we're at the table.
I think a rough summation you can make is that there was probably maybe 8 currently that were working for the lunch shift.
How are we going to get their attention? How do we get to talk to the cooks? How do we get to the back of the house and see how they react?
Idea. But we need to get back to the table first in order.
Yeah, I think I know where Diva's going. It's not so much about going back to the kitchen, it's about bringing them to us.
That works. Alright, back to the table.
Okay.
We'll go to Moore's and hopefully our table's ready.
10 minutes have passed. How long does Ultra Stealth last for?
It lasts for an hour.
Okay.
I have a second level spell slot if I need. So if it starts to get near the end, I'm going to go and re-up it.
Okay. We'll say 15 minutes have passed. 5 minutes to investigate, quickly rushing into the establishment, and then the 10 minutes for waiting for a table. Eventually, you are provided a small table for the 3 of you. Morris, you have to sort of scoot in a little bit, taking the end of the table, going. It is currently packed, but eventually a waiter does come in and go, "Hi, welcome to the Cot Pot. Is there anything I can get you?"
A glass of wine, and I keep hearing about this amazing seafood bread bowl. Is that on the menu tonight?
It absolutely is. Yes.
I just hear so much about it. Like, who's the chef that's brain is? Who's the chef whose brain is this? Tell me about it.
Well, the one who actually created this, at least this particular entree here, is our head chef, River.
So we'll definitely take 3 of those. And I also heard you have an amazing steak as well.
We do. We have assortment of different sizes. We have a 4 ounce, a 6 ounce, and an 8 ounce. And for those who are looking for the entire package, we also do offer a 12 ounce.
I was gonna look at the menu. The steak's for you, dear. Is that enough? 12 ounce? Do the 12 ounce. That should be all.
Should be fine. Yeah.
Before you go, is there any citrus in the bread bowl? I'm allergic to citrus.
I don't know, unfortunately. I can speak to one of the chefs. Maybe they can discuss if you have any allergies.
Yes, oranges specifically. I can't have any dishes with oranges, so just telling me any dishes that might have those, I will.
Of course. And he starts to provide you a couple, like, he starts to point directly to a few that do have oranges, but he goes, let me talk to some of the chefs and see if maybe there is some, like, lemon, orange zest that's being used in some of these dishes, just to be safe.
Thank you.
Another 10 minutes pass, drinks are provided. So we're counting down that timer. Eventually, this half-elven individual, you do see sort of like a mixture of masculine and feminine looks, steps in, bandana tied against their forehead, very sharp features. Goes to you all, goes, hello, welcome to the Cot Pot. I'm head chef Rover. I heard that there might be some allergies, specifically to citrus, correct?
I'm going to make very deliberate eye contact with River.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hoping that my comrades here can see if there's any weirdness of someone if he was a murderer, that his victim is now sitting here in front of him in his restaurant.
I'm just automatically, just so that the DM knows, any person that comes to our table, I'm going to be watching with both eyes.
Roll me insight checks. And I'll say all of you can do it, because even Legati, regardless if you're trying to make yourself presence known, you can still read someone.
Yeah.
I was looking at both of them, just like, chill, guys. We're in public.
That'll be 16 for me.
16.
I got it at 9, so.
9. And Diva.
Oh. You said perception?
Insight.
Insight. That's an 11.
11. Morse, you see this chef sort of like was sort of giving a glance of everyone, and kind of does a double take to Legati, who's changed into one of the victims, and goes, I had no clue you were allergic to citrus. I mean, I'm really happy that you enjoyed our food. I'm happy to see you back. And with the insight check, there doesn't seem to be like any fear. There does seem to be like a genuine curiosity and then surprise, and then a little bit of like kind of a bit self-pride sort of hits. He goes, hopefully your first experience here was good. And says this to Legati.
Yeah. Well, I'm obviously back again, so you and your team have got another regular customer.
That's good to hear. Well,
I'm going to say, by chance, she would not stop speaking about dish. I have heard so much about it. She just went on and on and on. Is the chef that prepared that dish for her on her last time here around by chance? Because I would love if they'd be able to prepare it for us, just so that I could see what it's about.
I was the one to provide the last dish.
Oh, fantastic! I look forward to this.
I'm just more shocked you came without me, Rebecca. When did you come? You guys have to tell me. And I look at River kind of more to give me the answer. I'm like, what was this?
I think it was about 3 days ago. 3-4 days ago. You were here. We were talking a little bit over the meal. Yeah. Are you also working with the as work hands for the cleric?
Something like that. I'm being brought in to have new like flavors for the house kitchen. She told me about this restaurant, so we decided to come.
Well, Miss Lung, if you don't see this as too forward, but if you ever feel like discussing maybe other dishes you may enjoy. Maybe off hours. I'd be inclined to do so.
I think Legati, as Rebecca says, well, I do know where to find you, and I think I will be returning.
Grand. And there's a bit of a joyous step to.
Sorry, bro.
Yeah, it's that face she's actually
This is depressing.
I have to get the cup of wine to not laugh. Be like,
I should get started. It shouldn't take too long, and I look forward to our future encounters.
be a fly on this wall.
Heads back. You were given some food. The bill
I
is
was
very
with Legati,
expensive.
I'm like, you might have to take one for the team.
I mean, that's. I'm gonna put Plan C. Is get close to this guy
Go on
and then
date.
reveal that I'm the vengeful ghost of
Become this
Rebecca.
person.
Yeah. Which of your employees do you think is most likely to have murdered? That's Plan C. If we don't solve it before then, is to use this in this river.
Oh my
I
god.
love that Plan C is consistently the most wild one.
Who's gonna pay for the bill? Currently, it is 20 gold pieces.
Our dude was supposed to provide money for it.
Oh, is that what? Okay.
As community service. I'm
All
not
right.
making
He would
it
provide. He would
Would
then
have
provide
paid
you
for
with.
it because my concept of money is like I can get money, but out of the 100 that's supposed to go to our fine, I'll take the 20 gold out of it.
Well, to Legati's point, if this was part of the plan and it was discussed, like we were gonna order something small, you guys technically did order appetizers, but also wine.
And the steak, 12 ounces.
And that's what I'll think.
That's where the 20 gold's going to. But yes, I'll say that can be covered by a supplement from Harper.
Yeah, you bet it. Not paying community service.
I have to go on a date and
But the
pay?
great thing about it is that for the rest of the evening, or at least for the rest of the sort of the midday here, you're enjoying some really, really good food.
This is the second time Phoenix is like, man, didn't get to eat the last time.
Yeah.
When
Alright,
Aaron
so
brought this up.
Yeah. The clock is ticking on Elder Cell. I think when I have a few, like I don't want to re-up it yet because I want to save it for later. So I think near the end of the hour, it's gonna be bad.
I was
if I
like, why
can't
don't you walk
re-up
in the back and ask River for another meeting?
I honestly, I want to walk in the back and just walk through and see if anyone reacts to Rebecca more intensely. But I would love if we all did that. I know it'll probably get us kicked out of the restaurant.
I would ideally like to ask for River to take us back to that prepared such a delectable meal and how
Okay.
honored we
We
are.
see the kitchen, yes.
Yeah, I think you can talk to the waiter who's like, oh, I mean, it looks like you were already friends with Chef River, so sure, follow me. We'll just do a quick peek in. I'm sure they're busy, but we can say a thank you.
All right, here we go.
You walk in, and the waiter goes, "Excuse me, chefs. We have a one of our patrons wanted to give a thank you for the meal provided, and sort of motions for you to like say your thank yous. And I'm sure that's given, but go ahead and roll me insight checks from everyone.
Also, I do have a passive perception of 14, so I'm trying to look to see if anybody does any awkward movements or sudden jerks or looking for anything.
What's your passive insight?
How do we calculate that?
8 plus,
Endless your bonus,
yeah, something like that.
Is it plus proficient? Because I'm also proficient in it too.
Yes,
Right, okay, so then that would be a passive of 12.
got it. If you'd like to
just
keep,
pulled a 16 insight.
ooh,
Solid 9.
ah,
That'd be a 19 insight.
19. Specifically, I'm assuming that Rebecca Legati is the one sort of addressing everyone, all the chefs here to say thank you. And more than likely keeping Chef River in mind and sort of like maybe doing a specific thanks. There are a few bodies who kind of lean back, and there are some soft chuckles, sort of like knowing looks between them all, as you hear some voices go, ooh. One person does speak up and goes, River, mate, this is like what? The third person who's fawning over you? Really? What about the dwarven guy? Huh? And then the other person goes, no, I didn't see a dwarven guy. I thought it was the vine person, the person who works the fields, the woman. And you see the other one go, no, mate. I thought it was Renee. I was really into him. And so you see Sheffer goes, I don't know. I guess food speaks to the soul.
Why is he acting so casual if he killed this person? My question.
And that is where we're going to pull back from today's episode.
I know what you did. Hold on, let me go get baby.
Okay. But yes, the insights, he's kind of just really appreciative that people enjoy the food.
Yeah, he does. Unless he's got like a super great deception, there's something weird going on with the.
It sounds like he might have a crazy ass.
Thank you everyone for joining us today. We will see you guys next time. Bye.